knock the doors open, but I haven't figured out how to do that on this patch. And to be fair, I haven't really tried that hard.
Okay, I don't know what I'm doing, but like you know how the mole's got those two doors that auto open?
Yep.
They stay open. Once I get on the ship
It's a
and go
bug.
through them, and so do all the other ships for some reason. They stay open.
Yep. It's a stupid bug right now. That's just like the
I
Sentinel
like
or
it.
yeah, it's the Sentinel has the same problem. You can only close the ramp. You can't close any interior door once you open it. Actually had a problem with the Cutlass Black when I was doing delivery missions where I couldn't close the ramp after I put cargo on it.
Dude, that 176 SU load that I brought back the other day, freaking 2 days on the Pharaon process to do that one.
Damn.
I know, right? Imagine if I'd have put it on the Dinks. It'd have been
Yeah,
like 4 days.
you'd have a full beard, look like Grizzly Adams by the time that shit was done.
I just took all the mods off of the mole and just put surges on all 9 slots.
Really?
I bought like 36 surges while I was at area, or I went by Olisar on the way out here.
I don't think I've used a surge since the passive modules came out.
What passive modules do you put on? What the fuck?
I think I usually run a VAUX, a VOW, or whatever it's called, filter, and focus on my lasers.
I wish they stole stampedes at this station. I like the stampedes too. Surge and stampede, you can crack a rock in no time.
I look at mining as more relaxing, so I don't care about the speed of cracking a rock. I just care that I can crack it. Which, obviously, if you run into a big enough rock, you need two mole or at least a mole with a couple guys on a laser or a couple prospectors.
Yeah, I've yet to run into a big enough one yet for the mole not to crack it with one laser. It's been interesting to see how it do on those that day you and I found those 7,000 mass rocks.
Hell yeah. You know what I really hate?
Black licorice?
That's top of the list, yes. Now I got this one friend of mine. He's doesn't like jumping in Discord, but he'll message me 1,000 times on Discord while I'm trying to play a fucking game, and I gotta exit out of the game to type back on Discord or grab my phone or tablet and type back to him, and it just irritates me when he could fully get into Discord because he's not on his phone, sitting at his laptop or his computer.
I got a buddy that whenever I'm playing, I'll be in a group with you guys, and he tries to call in. And I'm like, dude, just come hang out in the server, and he never wants to.
Oh yeah, this guy's a member of this server. Well, he's not a member of EC, but he can get in the server, or at least I thought he could. I guess I could scroll down the list and see if his name's on there. He's getting pissed. The guild he's with now, or org, is a bunch of racist dickheads, and he doesn't like hanging out with them anymore. So I told him he should come check us out.
Oh boy. Well, there goes a whole load of surge modules.
Did you just claim your ship or it blow up?
No, it took off in a quantum and then dropped me off in the middle of space. Are you on my server?
I am.
I think I am too.
Which character are you on, Tech?
Jinsari.
Ah, I knew that. Can one of y'all come pick me up? I got like a full suit of armor and weapons and everything on me.
Sure. Where is you?
Well, about 40 million from Lamb. Where are you at? I was on the way to. I'm real close to Crew L1. I fell out of the ship really quick. 30 million away from you.
Mine's pretty quick.
Thank you, and please visit again.
You heading there, Lamb, or you want me to?
It doesn't matter either way. I'm going to be pointing that direction here in a second, so I'm going to Crew L1 eventually, anyhow. But I'm going to be picking up my prospector there, so I might as well grab you.
Alright, changing direction and heading back to Hurston.
My ship's pretty quick, too, so I'll get there fast. I'll be there momentarily. Give me a minute.
The knick-knack says that my mole is still at Crew L1. Interesting.
I wonder if when shit does that, if it's kind of like a 30K where you could still not claim it, but it'll have a recover option for it.
Yeah, I'll give it some time to find out. I'm just floating in space staring at the sun anyways.
Full of Crusader guests and residents, I have an important security update. We have once again received word that outlaw elements are plotting to move against a station in our sector. Although it is my belief that security forces will be able to deal with this threat before it emerges, it is encouraged that you take
Watch the attack be at Crew L1. You're gonna get blasted out of the sky by pirates.
I know, that'd be funny.
Just getting the drive up to speed. Should be hauling butt here in a second.
Oh, that's cool. I fired my rifle a couple times, and like the 2 shells were sitting here in space floating next to me.
That is awesome.
They vanished. Technically, they should have like flown off in one direction, just drifted forever, but
If we only had Newtonian physics.
this suit, you can't use a sniper rifle with this armor I got on, because I think the that pad that goes around the neck, it comes up and blocks your scope.
If you're scoping people, you should be in light armor.
I agree. But they had a pretty what do you call it? Sniper rifle that I liked. It had the camo print on it. I got my tractor beam gun, so you don't have to get like super close to me. I can hopefully tractor beam and pull myself to you.
24 million out. We'll find out.
Yep, I see you. Man, I can't stick around for the event because I'm supposed to ice skating with some friends here in a little bit. I haven't ice skated in like 5 years, and when I ice skated last, it was not pretty. Because it wasn't till probably 10 years before that I ice skated the last time.
Eat that. His front shield is gonna. Okay, where the hell just happened? He was there in my
He
trigger.
should be melted.
That's going to be interesting then.
By and by.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to leave the wall.
Make some more shots,
It
boss.
was weird. I was saying I was out of shots, and then I look up and I was full again.
Oh yeah!
Right out of here.
Yeah.
I used to like ice skating here, up here, playing hockey and shit. Although I haven't been on a set of skates in probably 20 years now.
Meeting's supposed to be coming up here in a minute or so. We've got only one person in weekly meetings currently.
Yeah, we can move up there if y'all want.
Might as well. Wait for everybody to show up and have a meeting.
Tech's like, damn it, I had to close out of the game to do this.
Alt tab, baby. I tried dragging him up, but I don't have those permissions. I'm getting so close.
Yep, what are you flying in?
Banu.
You know, those aren't that expensive. I was over at Area 18 looking at the ship for sale thing to see what they were. And a lot of the ships aren't that expensive. Is my icon stabilized for you, or is it bounce all over the place?
Nah, it's completely stabilized.
Cool. I wanted to pick up that guy that fell out of Red's ship the other night, and his icon was bouncing all over the place until I got really close to him.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy birthday.
A Crusader. The criminal group known as the Ninetails have cut off all quantum travel around Bountiful Glen Station. Crusader Security has dispatched forces to resolve this issue.
See, some of you guys have been in here kind of regular this last week. You've been having a lot of fun with the new stuff.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
I've been getting in here and there to get a little bit of footage. And every once in a while I notice, something, some subtle little thing that's new. That's kind of interesting. So, for example, in Anvil ships, some of the doors, when you open them, you can't close them. Like
Yep.
the door between the pilot and the rest of the Valkyrie, and the suit lockers on the Karak. Once you open them, they stay open. It's not game breaking. It's just something I noticed. Another couple of interesting things about the Karak is you can actually sit at the galley table now, where that wasn't a thing before. But your arms are kind of like melt partway into the table, and the hangar hatch or door is now a giant gravity plate. You can actually walk on the whole thing. I think there are a few small ships actually can land on it, and they stay on it.
Yeah, they've been doing that a while, the hangar doors.
Yes, 315, I think. I missed it in 315, but noticed it in 316. Is it just my imagination, or do the elevator panels, in the stations and kind of everywhere seem a little bit crisper, more sharp?
I don't know.
I've noticed a new NPC in the game, the headless naked guy with, which basically has underwear on. That's it.
I don't think those are NPCs. I think those are players that got bugged out, because it's happened to me.
Ah.
The truth will set you free.
One time I spawned with my head up my ass. And I ran around the whole night like that.
Wow. So you truly had a severe case of rectal cranial inversion.
Yep.
Were there pulmonary complications?
I couldn't help but talk shit all night.
Yeah.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Hey, I see you in the other cockpit.
Sweet. Super sweet.
Super sweet. It's like, you're coming in kind of low.
I just wanted to bounce it off of something. It's fun.
Complete. Have a pleasant stay.
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate the rescue.
Anytime. That'll be 1995.
3 installments of 1995.
But wait, there's more.
You can't fire tractor beam guns in armistice zones. That sucks. How are you supposed to move freight?
Well, not just that, but imagine you're walking around Orison and you're like, do, God, this is pretty. And oh shit, I'm falling. You could whip out your tractor beam, catch one of the platforms, and pull yourself back up. But no. Instead, you fall to the crushing depths of Crusaders' gas and
Cursing your tractor beam the whole way down.
Damn you,
Damn you, tractor beam!
You could have been a grappling hook. Instead, I'm dying.
When are we supposed to get tractor beams in the game? You know, the kind you can mount to your ship?
Not soon enough, and I wish they would give the mining heads a third mode, tractor beam mode, so you can like move around the little rocks while you're trying to break them up.
That'd be cool.
Well, I don't know if it's going to be on the mining head, but that's definitely coming.
That's essentially what a collection laser is a tractor beam.
Yeah, and I don't mean like move the big chunks, but you should be able to like move around the little purple ones that are broke all the way.
Yeah, so if you're dual mining, somebody in a prospector or cutlass black or something with a tractor beam could move all the rocks right in front of the mole or the prospector, so they could suck it up and
Well,
not waste all the
it'd
time.
make it easier. Okay, that's a good one. Put it in this pile. You know.
I think the Odyssey is actually getting something like that, kind of like the
Yeah, it's
first-
gonna have a tractor beam and the miner. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like the precursor to what the Orion will eventually get.
Yep, it sure did. It stored my mole back in the thing. I'm gonna see if it still got its surge modules on.
See, I gotta look out for my other brother from another mother.
That's one advantage of a multi-boxing the mole is you don't need any products. You don't need any modules. You don't need any of the items that you put in the laser heads. If you got it fully manned, you've got the power.
Power of Grayskull.
Do 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 do. I've got the power. Sorry.
Yeah, I need to get a hard drive and then a copy of Windows put on my other PC, and I can get back in and box.
Where do you pick up the modules like Surge and Stampede?
Surge is at Port Olisar is the easiest place to get them, but you can get them at Lorville also.
Lagrange points, don't Lagrange points have all of them?
No.
Not all of them, no. Like
That'd
the one
make
I'm
too
at
much
doesn't have
sense.
Surge or Stampede, or any good ones for that fact.
So CRUL1 doesn't? Damn it.
No.
I'll fly over to Olisar. Hopefully not get jacked.
Yeah, Orsan's got the surges. Have you put your mining head on it yet? The Lancet?
Yeah, I've got the mining head. I just got to get the
Cool.
modules.
So I know there's like two different kinds of components you can put in a laser head. Are one set of them like consumables and the other is like a modification to the laser that you can keep using over and over?
Yeah, one's passive and then one's like a 5-use consumable.
Gotcha. So these gadgets, does anybody know that these gadgets we can attach to rocks, are those consumables or reusables?
Oh.
I haven't attached anything to the rocks yet, so I'm not
They're
sure.
not out
I'm
yet.
guessing they would follow the same kind of rules that the ship mining heads have.
I think it's that. It's probably going to be kind of like a Claymore mine. It's just a one-use thing. Stick it on there, tune it, and break your rock. And when your rock breaks, it breaks.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I totally get where the prospector could really use that. That'd be very beneficial. Do consumables eat up a lot of your profit, or is it just a small part of it?
It's barely anything. There's no eating of profit when you're mining Quantanium.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, when I could bring one rock back that's, 400, 500,000 credits worth, and, I spent
What in the world is going on with my ship?
1/5 of, was
What
it
the
like
fuck,
5,000 for a surge module or something like that? 4,000 for a surge module? I can't remember how much they were. But, so, I blow one surge round on a big rock, and I bring it back, and I make anywhere from 300 to 500,000 on the rock.
What the fuck?
Thank you, and please visit again.
So the Starfarer is supposed to come out with refueling next patch, 17. Do we get the refinery? I don't think we get the refinery with that, because apparently the Starfarer is going to be the first one to have an onboard refinery.
You fill it up is what you can do at the station, supposedly.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting when it gets to refinery, because now you could have, for example, a prospector and a Starfarer paired together, and they would have unlimited fuel.
We don't know how to harvest hydrogen yet, though. I think that's going to be different collectors rather than breaking rocks.
Right, but you're supposed to, if you're not a fighter, supposedly you have hydrogen scoops and you're replenishing that way. I know the Pisces and the Carrack, they just don't run out of hydrogen fuel at all. Did anybody else notice that on the Carrack it has 2 slots for radar? I find that kind of unusual. There's one in engineering and one on the bridge. So I'm wondering if that's going to mean that it has 2 radars, or has it got 2 ways to modify its radar? I'm wondering what that's going to mean.
It could mean, well, it means that it has 2 radars. That's obvious because it says it has 2 radars. But so the idea there is that it could be a backup radar, or that could be the way that they're doing the cartographic sensors, because it is stated that it has specific sensors for I cannot speak this morning. I am sorry. I'm going to shut up now.
Trying to say cartography?
Yeah, that word.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was doing a little engine room tour to look at the modules, and I noticed, hey, there's a radar down here. Why is there a radar in engineering? And I noticed that there's one on the bridge as well.
I hate when they don't give you OM markers.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. Sometimes sometimes I have to move away from the planet to see them, because I'm, where I'm at near the atmosphere, I'm too close to see any more than 1 or 2. Sometimes you can't see one at all.
It won't even let me target Olisar. That's what's ridiculous. I can't jump to it. I can't do shit.
Oh, wow.
Get the fuck over here.
I was having the same problem with one of the Lagrange points. I could target one, but not the other.
Jesus Christ, man. Is radar in chat?
Not that we can see.
Damn it. I gotta bitch him out.
I have noticed one thing about the game, at least for me. I have, since 3.16's come out, I've only encountered one 30K error, and I've logged in a bunch of times.
Nice. I got a 30K back in, 2008. I've been in that 30K ever since. How was everybody's last night?
Relaxing.
Quiet. Some of the neighbors were blowing off some fireworks, but it was pretty quiet, relatively speaking. I think 2022 came in with a whimper.
Jesus, I wish he did here. There's a fucking war zone in my neighborhood.
Yeah, we had lots of fireworks going off out here, but still chillaxed. Real easygoing New Year's Eve.
So, fireworks bother me. Not even for the military. I think it was more my childhood than anything else, but that's besides the point. So, I have issues with fireworks, right? Yeah, I have more issues when fireworks are going off and I'm trying to deal with them by loud noises and woodworking or whatever the fuck else I'm doing. And then I hear the distinctive sound of a 9mm going off in rapid succession.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Oh,
Just-
I live out in the country, so there's rapid fire AR-15s and all sorts of shit going off all night last night.
Yeah, if I lived out in the country and I heard it, it would be a different story. However, I live in San Antonio, Texas, and I've got the whole, hey, I live in a city where guns aren't supposed to be shot thing, but I also got the I live in Texas where everybody shoots fucking guns thing. It just wrecks my nerves is all. It's like, Jesus fuck, guys. You don't need to shoot your gun. There's ranges for that. Go somewhere else.
This fucking thing.
Aren't bullets more expensive than fireworks now?
Maybe,
What the
probably.
fuck, this stupid
Fireworks are
thing?
cheap as shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's like $2 a round if I shoot my fucking 300 blackout.
But we also have a lot of people down here that pack their own ammunition and stuff like that. So, and I got 5 military bases here in this town.
Open. Fucking door.
And you wonder why people are firing guns?
I didn't say I wonder. I said I had an issue with it. Ma'am, if you're trying to talk, we can't hear you. If you're not trying to talk, then you're coming on sua sponte. Yeah, no, it's just, it's a little bit nerve-wracking. I got into it because, like you guys said, someone said it came in a whimper, and it did not come in a whimper here. It sounded like a goddamn war zone. Complete with police sirens and ambulances, because people don't even know how to use fireworks properly. I'm going to stop because I'm not a happy camper right now. I had a bad night. I'm sorry, guys. So, what's new?
Bird. That's what's new.
Bird is the word.
Forgive me for not talking. I'm trying to
Smart buy.
Trying to put this hard drive in my other computer.
What type of hard drive is it?
Just a little Samsung. What is this thing? 860 Evo. And I pulled the wrong one out. Damn it.
Put it back in. Your computer will never know. It's like when you're in a coma. The doctor starts fucking with your feet.
Well, that's interesting because I thought I had Star Citizen installed on my NVE drive, my M.2, because I got two M.2 drives on this computer, and I just assumed that I've been using the M.2 for everything, but apparently it's not. It's all been on this little Evo.
Is the Evo an SSD non NVMe?
Yeah.
Initiating ship storage procedure.
Well, I mean, you could always temporarily hook the Evo back up and just drag and drop the files over.
Initiating ship
Yeah, that's what I was
storage
going to do.
For your safety, please vacate the area. Thank you for your cooperation.
I swear I had more than one SSD in here.
So I think I'm gonna have to bite the bullet and just buy myself an actual factory-made vice.
I was
Talking about like a benchtop vice?
I'm talking about a bench face vice.
looking at the Luminalia thing, and I know everybody's there's been a lot of talk about it, but I just thought it kind of occurred to me that all the Luminalia had to happen in Luminalia was to switch the knife to the last gift versus a picture. I think that might have changed the whole picture of how the whole Luminalia thing was received. With the even though there was some of the items were just pictures, or one was even a fraction of a picture, but it's great that they gave us all those gifts, but it would have been cool for them to end on a high note with that Banu knife.
Agreed. Good insight.
I think that would have gone a long way to assuage some of the problems. I actually personally, even as someone who can't play Star Citizen right now, I actually think that the Luminalia event, even the hangar items that were given for free, should have been in-game gotten.
I think you're going to be happy with that.
I'll be right back. I gotta restart.
I think that would have gone a long way to fixing some of the to making it more of an event instead of a, hey, you gave us crap. If that makes sense. But I do believe that your prescription is also would be a good start.
At the end of the day, I mean, I was fortunate that I didn't have a 404 error on the last one, so I immediately recognized that the item was a picture of the bike, not the bike. But a whole bunch of people saw that and thought it was the bike, partly because when they went to click on the more info, it 404 errored on them, so they couldn't find out anything more about it. But even the more info wasn't clearly definitive. So a lot of people really thought that they did end on a high note by giving everyone a free bike, and that caused a lot of salt.
I think, yeah, no, I can see where people got confused with that, but I think a lot of that was also the fact that people got their hopes and dreams up, right? And this happens a lot in Star Citizen to begin with. You see it when they come out with concept ships. You see it with like a bunch of stuff. Just go on to any Star Citizen social media thing and start talking to people. People get what they believe is the best thing in their heads, and they kind of apply it to Star Citizen without actual retrospect of what the thing actually is.
Yeah, well, you and I were talking about that.
Yeah.
People have their impression of what something is, and it's not really based on what facts that are available to them to clearly define what the thing is versus what they imagine that it is.
Yeah, and I think that played a lot into it. Because like frankly, I wasn't like the knife was a fucking huge thing to me because like I wasn't expecting Star Citizen to give away free fucking in-game item flare for a on the spot made up fucking holiday thing, right? Like maybe a jacket or something like that, but nothing like a knife that has an actual use.
Well, okay, I'm a Eve veteran, and Eve gives away ships every Christmas. They give away free ships, and
Yeah.
and so those are real dollar. It's a real dollar. They have real world value to them in terms of you buy currency and you buy the ships, so they're actually giving away significant items of some significant value. And so I that's why I thought, I had a moment of thought, oh, hey, they're actually going to give us a vehicle here. And then I really quickly realized what it was, but kind of hang your head and go, really? You bring in $83 million in the year, and what you think is a great giveaway is basically a background, a wallpaper, basically is what you're was what you're giving away. Okay, you gave something away for free. I really can't bellyache about that. So my only observation was, what I already said about switching which one came when.
I would caveat that to say with Eve in the gaming industry, especially MMO industry, Eve is a very special case. And I don't think in general, as far as business practices go, you could look at Eve and apply that to most other MMOs. It is relatable to Star Citizen to some degree. I think I'd have to have a long thought and probably a longer discussion about how applicable Eve and Star Citizen are in that regard, though.
The two games, aside from being space games, really don't compare. One is a I would consider.
Let's talk about business models, not game.
Yeah, okay, but that also, in order to make it a fair comparison, too, the ships are given to the subscribers. So that's the Omega accounts. The Alpha accounts don't actually get the ships. Well, they actually do. I'm sorry, they do. They will get shuttles, but more readily, what they will get is skins. They'll get some skill points and they'll get some ship skins, and that's on the free to play account. So that's more comparable.
Right, and that's kind of what I was going with, because most MMOs, Arc, any of that stuff for their holiday stuff, you might get you might get some clothing for free, and maybe like some skin items for free in the game. But if you want to actually do something, you got to go do quest lines, and you got to do this, and you got to actually, they might not be hard, but you got to actually go do something to get like the holiday gifts. They don't actually give anything for free. Everything is done through gameplay.
Yeah.
But that's more an intellectual thing than anything else, right? Like the whole idea of like how Star Citizen's doing it versus how Eve's doing it versus how every other game's doing it. It's just more of an intellectual thing. There's no right or wrong answer, except if Star Citizen fails because of something they do versus succeeds because of something they do. That would be the only way that you can get a right and wrong answer out of that.
Thank you.
Well, the other thing I thought was kind of interesting was if you go back and you look at the 100 million, 200, and 300 million, you got a letter from the chairman, and that didn't happen at the 400 million. And right now, in total, if you consider the subscriptions and you consider the stock sales that they did make and other influxes, CIG has taken in over $500 million in total, and they recognize those in the past, have recognized those events by Chris Roberts coming out and this is what we've achieved, that kind of a thing. So I'm kind of surprised that they didn't come out with another letter like they did on the previous times.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to get out of here. I'll catch y'all later.
See you, Ace Fox.
Hey, Ace, where do you go to mine right now? Just real quick.
What I do is I go from Crew L1 to Arc L3, and I kill the engines at as soon as it hits 12,000,000.
Okay, I'll try it from Olisar, see if that works.
Yeah, 12 million from Arc L3 is where I stop.
I just go to Spectrum. Plenty of salt in Spectrum.
Is there a lot of Quantanium out there in the belt?
Yes and no. It's hard to find, or you can get lucky like me and just freaking come out of Quantum right on top of a giant fucking pile of it, bring 76 SCU of it back to the station.
Yeah, you can also try the asteroid belt around Yellow, the little ring around Yellow. I've mined about 10 million out of there.
That's not too scabby.
Speaking of stabby, you gotta watch out for pirates there. Every once in a while, you'll have a random NPC pirate spawn. So just be careful with that when you're solo on the mole.
That would be fantastic. You could shut them down with your distortions, hopefully, and then hit them with your mining laser while they're down.
Oh, you can take them down. It's just you might not notice until it's too late while you're mining the mining seat solo.
I hate when NPCs become griefers. I mean pirates.
But I mean, it's happened to me maybe 3 times in the 50, 70 plus hours that I've spent around that belt.
I was surprised how good the Pisces is against NPC pirates. A Cutlass jumped my little Pisces as I'm coming to a Lagrange point. I thought, what the heck? I'll give this a try. I actually killed it.
Yeah, pirate NPCs are pretty weak. I mean, the mole took out 2 pirates, no problem.
Well, then it's my speed because I suck at PvP. So.
Yeah, pirate NPCs are pretty underwhelming.
I mean, they're going to be. I'm pretty sure that the pirate NPCs mainly are going to be like the initial stage NPC bad guy that people face when the game actually gets to a point where there's more than just one solar system.
Yeah, it's like the beginner experience.
Yeah. And then as you get closer to like Vandal space or closer to unregulated space, I want to say, then you might find harder bad guys and stuff like that. I think Pyro and Nyx will have tougher NPCs, but not by much. I think the Vandal are going to be some of the harder NPCs that you'll face in game, with the possible exception of the alien race that's being blocked by another alien race.
I mean, I think at the end of the day, the hardest pirates you're going to face are other players. No matter what NPC they're going to throw at you, the hardest one is definitely going to be other players, and there's going to be a lot of those.
Right. We completely agree on that. I don't think the player piracy is going to be as big of a thing as people think it is.
I mean, I would hope it is, because it would give a lot more dynamic on what you can do. And
No. I think there's going to be a lot of players that are pirates, but at the same time, once you look at how big Stanton is right now, once you get 3 or 4 systems in, think about how you're going to basically stretch out the amount of people enacting piracy.
I feel like hacking might play a role in there. Like maybe there's a way to hack a system's location, like send someone aboard, and if they're able to board that ship, hack it, and so it's always transmitting the location. Maybe they do something like that, and then you can have, if you have a good programmer on your ship, maybe they can remove it or they can find it. I think
hacking
something like that'd be cool.
Yeah, no, hacking will definitely be a thing. But what I'm saying is like just positionally, it's going to be so dispersed. You might have a pirate org over in this area or a pirate org over in that area. But you're not going to be running into a pirate every like 5 minutes or every hour or even every night that you get on the game.
No, definitely not.
I think where it gets interesting for piracy or going against piracy is when we have the ability to save or bookmark a spot in space, and then we can transmit that to our friends. So, for example, hey, I'm in a Mantis. I've got an 890 tackled. It's not going anywhere. Need some help taking it down. So here's where I am, and all of a sudden, from people from a system over or in the same system can all converge on that. I think that's going to change the dynamics on that a lot.
You can already, if you have something tied down, you can jump to a party member's marker. So regardless, that's already taken care of. We don't have bookmarks yet, but hopefully
Well, we're not
soon.
gonna get bookmarks until they get the front-facing portion of the positioning system done.
I thought they had that. That's why we have. Yeah.
No, you have a compass. That's all you have is a compass. You don't have grid coordinates yet. They have the back end portion of that, which is what they use, but they don't have a good, like, they haven't developed a good way to. Same thing with the on ground. You don't have any on ground coordinates, which is why we're still using like relational coordinates.
Zino, you're saying you can jump to a party member, right?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, the scenario I was painting out was if their people are not in your party, maybe they're in your organization, but they're not necessarily in your party.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I guess the workaround for that right now is just make a party, until that happens.
I also think that that in later iterations of organizational gameplay, they're going to have it so that you could, kind of like with party, you can have a party, but you can also jump to an organization member.
Yeah.
I can foresee
so
that.
too.
I can foresee that because what point is there in being in an organization if you can't just immediately go to them sua sponte, right?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they'll have a toggle option to like show members of organizations as jump points, so that it's not like overcrowding the screen, especially if you're in a big org. But I think something like that will definitely be in place.
So I'm really curious how big a server size we go to this year. There's all this talk about server meshing, getting the first iteration of it this year. Do we go to 100? Do we go to 200? I wonder what we go to if it comes in.
Didn't they say we already have like the first iteration, but it's all back end stuff?
I mean, that's what they've been working on mostly, is just the back end stuff, getting all that hashed out.
Yeah. But I thought they had. Go ahead, Celine. I'm sorry.
There was talk of several discussions about getting the first iteration of server meshing in. I didn't catch that it was just going to be back end. So basically, does that mean, yeah, we'll get server meshing in, but nothing changes in 2022?
Well, let me be more precise. I thought that they had some of the server meshing stuff in already, but it was stuff that you wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about like by the first iteration of server meshing, the first thing that players can notice? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. Well, in order to get Pyro in, they have to get some level of server meshing in order for that to work. So they haven't. I don't know of anything that says a specific date for Pyro, but I strongly suspect we're going to see it in 2022. So I think we're going to see some iteration of server meshing at the same time we get Pyro, and I think that happens the tail end of this year.
I think that you are correct in, well, obviously you're correct in the fact that we won't see Pyro until we get some type of server meshing. I don't know where they're at on server meshing, so I'm hesitant to say when it's going to come. I think it's possible that we will get it this year, but it's also possible that we won't.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
However, I think that we'll get Nyx at the same time we get Pyro.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think we'll get a couple systems, honestly.
Yeah, they've been working so fast on it, and they just hired a whole new set of teams, didn't they?
Yeah, the Montreal studio has like 100 people dedicated to nothing but systems.
Exactly. So they're just cranking those out as fast as they can right now, just because of all the progress that they made on those duplication tools and planet generating tools and all of that.
Yeah, I think they have more systems than they're going to release right now. And the reason for that is because there's going to be a lot of systems that are needed for Squadron 42. There's going to be a lot of things that they don't want people to see until Squadron 42 actually releases. Because they have to make all this material for Squadron 42, they have to dedicate teams to it, which means that those teams can't be doing other systems such as Terra or anything else. So I think we're going to get. I think we're going to have like some slim pickings of systems being added in the next few iterations. But then Squadron 42 will drop, and then we'll see like 4 or 5 systems come in all at once.
Yeah, I think they did mention. I remember vaguely that they did mention something about a first iteration of server meshing being implemented late 2022. But I think whenever they say things like that, I always assume it's going to be delayed until the next year.
Yeah, it's projected to late 2022.
Yeah, they just don't do good with dates, so I always give them a little extra leeway.
I think they're a little further along in server meshing than they give let on to, but what they're doing is they decided, since they're not having an in-person Citizen Con, they want it to be special. So this next Citizen Con is in person, and that's when they're gonna drop it real finely tuned. Maybe they're in the process of tuning right now. We don't know.
I would just about bet the next Citizen Con will not be in person.
That's
I
not
think-
what they said.
Well, given the fact that the Omicron is still going virulent, and they're talking about giving a fifth booster shot, I think it's safe to go either way on that decision. That
Yeah,
it
I
will
agree.
or will not.
A, Omicron is nothing but a head cold. B, the next Citizen Con is going to be right around election time. And what do you think the Democrats are going to do to block everything and get their vote by mail and all that? There's no way Citizen Con is going to be live.
Okay, not getting into the political thing, because we have a no political discourse in our thing. Whether Omicron's a head code by some people's standards or not, the CDC and the World Health Organization are saying something different, and those are the people who actually decide on policies. So, I mean, I think it's safe bet to go one way or the other on it. You gotta wait until this whole COVID shit keeps unfolding.
So I work at FEMA, so it's kind of a bellwether as to how we go federally. Right now, as of today, on February 1st, we're all going back in the office. That's the current plan. But we only have to be in the office 2 days per pay period. At the same time, we have an increasing number of staff members popping positive with COVID. So we'll see what happens in the next 30 days. But I suspect, given the rate at which, it doesn't matter how lightweight it is, but given the rate at which infection is going, my guess would be there'll be a late decision to not do it. I would love to see CitizenCon happen, because I love the one I went to, the 2949, I think it was, that 48, yeah. So that where Golly and I actually met, and so I hope that it is. I just don't hold a lot of. I just, given what's going on, I don't think it will.
Yeah, I'd love to go to my first Citizen Con, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to be in the cards. Over the holiday period, a lot of the infection rates started to skyrocket, especially in my area. There's a ton of people that got infected from spending time with people on Christmas. And especially yesterday there was a huge amount of parties for New Year's Eve all over this area, so I can only guarantee that those positive rates are going to go really high in South Florida.
Well, there's something I noticed. A 7-Eleven went up right down the street from me, and something I've been talking about since 9/11. New construction, public and retail buildings have changed significantly, but the change is now so common that the change is ubiquitous. And so when you pull up to, if you go find a still standing superette or even a 7-Eleven that was built pre 9/11, you won't find any physical obstruction between you and the door. You can park right next to the door. But if you look at any new construction now, there are physical obstructions between where the cars park and where the front doors are in almost every single new building case. That's for retail or for public. If they're government buildings, you don't even get to park anywhere near the front door. And that's just really common. I think we're going to see the same kind of post-pandemic construction evolve, and we'll see more changes to interior layouts. It'll be more accommodating and allow more functions to happen even if there is something like a pandemic going on.
That's possible. I mean, this whole thing's going to change the way we do things. There's no question about it. It's because of unpreparedness and because of a bunch of other issues. It's hurt everything from our way to get materials to our way of interacting with each other. So, undoubtedly, this is going to change how we do things worldwide.
What I find kind of interesting is, did you notice which businesses had zero impact by the pandemic? And they just kept going as if nothing happened. Right off the top, check cashing places. Every one of those you go to, they've either got bulletproof glass or got thick Lexan between you and them, so they didn't have to shut down.
I was going to say my job had little to no impact from COVID.
Yeah, I had zero impact. In fact, I might have gotten busier.
Well, and the same for FEMA. We immediately sent everybody home because it needed to maintain the workforce. We didn't have enough, so we kept hiring people, and we made them all telework as well. So yeah, we weren't impacted either.
Well, yeah, but I mean, FEMA being the emergency management of America. I mean, when a emergency like a pandemic hits, you would expect them to either be continuing on as business as usual or to be increasing in size.
We did, but we did have some impact. FEMA is broken up into 3 major units, and so in my unit, we're able to telework. But in the logistics unit, well, that's a physical job. There's warehouses, trucks to load, equipment to move, and they were impacted, and that part of it slowed down.
That's interesting because, like, I would give if I was one of the guys on the Monkey Muck, the big heads, I would probably give an exception to something like FEMA, or to have some workarounds for FEMA so that we could have them, because with the pandemic happening, the chances of another emergency where we would need the logistics and the support of FEMA would be more paramount, right?
Well, yeah, we kept operating. It was just there was a lot of challenges that had to be overcome in the way we operated. It just nothing stopped. FEMA has been there through the entire pandemic.
Right. Well,
they've been allowed to be.
Right, but I know that the state FEMA portions of it also work with the National Guards. Like, they have units that are attached to them, or they're assigned to them, or some shit like that.
There's a shared responsibility, shared operational setup between federal and state.
Yeah, you work for the federal portion of it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So FEMA cannot come in. FEMA is not allowed to go into a state until the governor asks for it. Until that happens, FEMA doesn't go in.
The state has to declare the governor has to declare a state of emergency and then ask for federal assistance, and then the executive branch has to sign off on the federal assistance and push FEMA in. Same way with state can activate its own National Guard, but it can't get other National Guards unless there's a federal directive. Same reasoning.
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, I got the FEMA worker and the what's the cert right above that? It was like, this was back in 2008. I got 2 certs for FEMA because I was working with an aviation unit up in Maryland that did FEMA work. I know a little bit. I don't know like all the inner workings and fucking bullshit about FEMA, but I know enough to be able to go to a site and do stuff.
One way you could definitely do CitizenCon is if you made a requirement that everyone has to cosplay it, and the cosplay requires armor. You have to wear armor. So basically you self-contain everybody. That might be one way to do it.
You would have the same effect as not having a CitizenCon. So so first of all, you're going to have a bunch of people saying, well, I have medical conditions, right? Whether they have medical conditions or not, I'm not going to go that route, but they're going to say that. The second thing is that you got to look at it. People come from all around the world. So in some cases, they're spending thousands of dollars just to get to CitizenCon to begin with. then they spend hundreds of dollars on CitizenCon, the motels for CitizenCon, the food for CitizenCon, and stuff like that. And now you're asking them to spend hundreds of dollars on armor just to go for the costume to go to the CitizenCon.
You know, that was the easiest troll I ever did.
Yeah, it was, but that's how my mind works. It's like breaking things down that way. But no, I think so. I was gonna say that if they really were dead set on having a CitizenCon next year, just do it in Texas, because Texas has had a recent history of saying "fuck rules."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas would be the spot.
Oh yeah, we have a governor that would be very assistive toward that end.
Either
Well-
that or Florida. Florida does not give a fuck.
They don't have a studio down there. That's their only problem. They want to do it where the studios are, because they talked about doing it over in LA. That's what the current thought is. Which LA is probably not the best place to have it.
California's it's topping the charts right now for the COVID fucking hits, right?
It's
I'm
up
not sure.
there.
It's just the restrictive nature of the governance over there.
Right.
Well, yeah, no, that's always an issue though. That was an issue before COVID hit, and that's an issue. That's going to be an issue after everything gets cleared up.
Well, LA is such a bad spot. I mean, you have people telling you, don't go into those areas, you know, because it's
Right.
just that rough.
Yeah, no, right. No, I don't know. If they do a physical CitizenCon, that I think that'll be good, because it'll keep people in the game. But if they don't, then I can see why they wouldn't, with everything that's going on in the world. And who knows? Maybe maybe tomorrow they'll come out and say, well, COVID's not a thing anymore, and then aliens will come down and say, fuck all you bitches, give me your water.
Aliens come down, just put me in the fucking ship. I want to go explore, bitches.
Indeed.
I shit you not, if there's ever aliens that land on the White House, you're gonna see me and Lamb Chop sneaking into their ship. I swear to fucking God.
Fuck yeah, I'll be on board. I'll be
Dude,
like,
I don't care. Give me an autopsy. Just open the window. Let me see outside.
My ship now. My ship now, bitches. You ain't got rims for me to steal, so I'm stealing the whole thing.
You know, anybody here watching The Expanse?
Oh, I've seen all of it.
So I'm on season 6 now, and I'm up to date. They posited a very possible and very real actual alien invasion. It's just not going to be little green men. They just come in the form of microbes that consume plant-based microbes, and that's it. End of life on Earth as the food chain collapses from the bottom.
That's one way to do it.
that would suck.
Well, it's actually realistic. It's actually possible, because there's enough space debris that comes by that the chances of it happening are far more likely than some intelligent life form landing and taking you to their leader.
I mean, they just released a research paper. It's still going under review, but they just released a research paper on how a tardigrade not only survives the most extremes in space, but is possibly the first
Quantum entangled. Yep, I saw it.
organism to be quantum entangled.
Yeah, that's
What's it called?
badass.
What kind of organism?
Tardigrades.
Tardigrade or tardigrade, however it's pronounced.
Yeah.
Micro bear.
Yeah.
That thing will survive in space. That thing will survive not having water for like 100-something years or something crazy.
Yeah,
it goes into like a hibernation state, and it survives the most extreme environments you can think of.
Tardigrades were existence way of saying, oh, you got everything figured out, humans? Fuck you.
They're basically Superman on fucking steroids and everything you can think of.
Yeah. So that's what I like about The Expanse, is whoever's doing the writing there, they're just a genius. And the Expanse is kind of like watching Star Citizen almost.
Well, they have a whole group of scientists that they're going based off of to actually do some of the physics and some of the things that are happening in the show. It's actually one of the most factual TV displays of what would actually happen. if you're trying to do some of those things.
Yeah, I think that right down to the negative effects of 0G or low G.
Yeah.
How a person might, a person who grew up on Mars, how they might have difficulty on Earth. I mean, they really
belters.
dug into just about everything.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a good idea of how things could come about.
Yeah. Well, I
Did
can't.
you guys?
I can't think of who said it, but there was I want to say like Asimov or some other great science fiction writer who said, great science fiction requires your audience to only have to believe one thing, which is the success attributed to Star Trek, the original series, and in part to Star Wars as well.
And now Dune. Fucking Dune, that new Dune movie was amazing.
Dune was great. I cannot wait till the second part.
Yeah, it's one of the best adaptations I've seen of it so far. It's fucking beautiful.
I haven't seen the new one. Did you guys see where recent news that Musk released a anti-gravity or a artificial gravity?
Musk and NASA. I didn't read it. I saw it posted. That
I was
they
hoping
released
one.
the first iteration of it.
Yeah, I was hoping one of you motherfuckers read it so I can get the scoop on it. Damn you! You've let me down.
Like, I saw it 3 times and I meant to click on it, but I was at work. I couldn't.
Same thing.
So what I saw was it's an assembly of 3 starships, a cargo one in the middle and two with people in it, and the center starship will extend a gantry that the other 2 ships will link up to, and then initially they'll all be oriented parallel to each other and use their thrusters to initiate a 3 RPM spin to mimic 1G on Earth. And once they've achieved that, then the 2 starships would then rotate so that their nose cones are pointed at the cargo ship, being perpendicular to it, and that would be how they would be oriented, spinning in space all the way to Mars for 9 months.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. So it's centrifugal. It's not gravity, but what you're creating is a centrifugal force.
Right.
To simulate
just like
2001. Yeah, and
Yeah,
so they said there'll still be ill effects of low G, but they'll be diminished, and they'll try to counter that with exercise and diet.
Right. So yeah, no, centrifugal force is by far the way that we would go about it, because that's the only way that we can get constant acceleration to an outside source or to an inside source. And acceleration equals gravity, and gravity equals acceleration. The two are interposable.
I think they said that they'll have to be on Mars. Each tour will be like 2 years. That will be the rotation.
That's interesting. I'll have to actually look into that more. I don't know. Like, I'm sure the fucking eggheads at NASA and the eggheads under Elon Musk are fucking good with their numbers and stuff like that. But I was under the assumption that Mars's gravity and just life on Mars would be something more akin to like a little bit better than the space station.
I have no idea. But also in that article is where I found out that SpaceX is pushing to get 200 or more starships built because their goal is to get 1 million people on Mars in Elon Musk's lifetime.
Right, because Elon Musk has everybody that signs up with Tesla or with SpaceX signing a thing that they recognize Elon Musk as the ruler of Mars. So, no, it's actually in the terms and conditions. By signing this, you recognize that Elon Musk is the sole ruler of Mars and is the de facto leader of all Martian people.
That's hilarious.
That is hilarious.
So he thinks because he's getting people to sign that, and if he can get people on Mars first, that he's going to rule Mars.
I think
he's trolling. That's why his title is Techno King.
No, it could be a large fucking troll, but I just think it's interesting that the actual terms of service say that shit.
Musk is the ultimate troll. That's
Yeah.
what it is. He's just
Yeah.
a giant troll, which is
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does. There's no contract that you can sign that makes someone your president or your king.
Well,
Listen to
Leaders.
the Lex Fridman and Elon Musk podcast. It was a really good one.
Even if there was a contract that you can sign to make someone your king or whatever, your ruler or whatever, the thing that you can't do is own any planet or anything outside of Earth because of the international space treaties.
Yeah.
Well, treaties like laws are only as good as they're enforceable.
Yeah, but I mean, if you put people up on Mars and you start building a military base, and every country in the world goes, "Hey, dude, that's not cool," there's a lot of nukes pointed at your ass. That's pretty fucking enforceable.
Absolutely.
And if you're a multi-billionaire that owns a private organization and you do something and the international governments go, no, I don't care how much money you have. A lot of governments going after you to put you in jail is pretty fucking enforceable.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have the wherewithal to debate something like that. I'm just simply saying I'm just a real simple guy. Possession is.
Yeah. No, I get you. I'm with you on that one. That's why like people getting into arguments about like owning the moon or fucking stuff like that or anything like that. First of all, you can't control anything unless you got boots on the ground, right? You have to have people on site in order to actually control it. Controlling remotely is not a thing.
Yeah, all I'm saying is if Elon Musk gets there first and he doesn't die on impact, chances are that if he's got the resources and he's got the people, he's got the facilities, he's going to have a lot of say about what goes on.
Well, yeah, no, he is going to have a lot to say about what's going on regardless.
He was talking about how he wants it to be a direct democracy, not a representative democracy, so that people have to vote on everything. And in order to get something passed, it's like a 60% vote is required, and then a 40% vote is required in order to cancel out regulations and laws.
So it's easier to cancel a law than it is to put a law.
No.
That's
it'd be
correct.
the opposite. No, it'd be harder.
No, it isn't.
No, easier to cancel.
Easier to cancel because he believes regulations need to be canceled and gotten rid of. Laws need to go away, or else you end up like Gulliver, tied down by a million strings. Maybe one string's not anything, but when you got a million of them, there's a problem. So laws and regulations need to be gone over. They need to be gotten rid of when they become worthless.
Well, now, in order to block a law, you only need one person. You don't need 40%. You need 60% to pass anything that requires funding in our current democratic republic. But functionally, you only need one person to stop it. So if you're going to require 40% of the people to actively vote to stop something, I think that's a lot more challenging than just having one person stand up and saying, "No, I don't want this."
No. They're talking about to remove something. So you're talking about something like removing an amendment from the Constitution.
Okay. You still
excuse me. God damn, I can't speak this morning. I am so sorry, guys. When you're talking about a direct democracy, any law that you pass would be more of a constitutional amendment than a law, because everybody is agreeing on it and everybody's saying this is the way we want to work. So removing that amendment would be the 40% versus putting a new amendment in order would be the 60%.
Yeah.
Yes, it's much harder to put regulations in place is what he wants, because regulations tend to cause issues.
Really? Huh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you look up Lex Fridman podcast, it's the latest one he did.
Yeah, I think that idea is fraught with a lot of pitfalls, but we'll see how it works out.
Having regulations for people who provide water, bad thing. That's a bad thing, apparently. Having regulations for people who provide power, that's a bad thing too. As an axiom, it's like I'm having a hard time following that logic.
Well, the first problem is direct democracy with a lot of people. That would be the first pitfall. That always turns out beautifully. And then the whole being able to to take a regulation or a law out easier than putting one in is always problematic in and of itself.
Yeah.
And why is that? I think that's a good thing, being able to remove, because look at what we're experiencing now. We don't remove laws. We have so many laws, we don't know how many there are.
40% can remove your freedom of speech or your freedom to bear arms.
I believe there would be something different than that. There would be a basic set of human rights that cannot be done. They're talking regulation, like regulating industry, regulating that sort of shit.
I think you're 100% right on that. I think
it's a direct democracy. Direct democracy, all it takes is the 40 or the 60%, depending on how you look at it, to actually change whatever regulation they put in to initiate.
When we try to put laws, we try to legislate or regulate behavior, and we have just a multitude of laws that do that. I think you run into a problem there when you're and so I totally get that. For example, the Constitution of California it's the second one. They wrote their first constitution in 1858, then redid it again, I think, in 1860. The current Constitution of California has way more than 500 amendments to it. So that's just a ridiculosity.
Like I said,
and California is really the trendsetter in coming up with a multitude of regulations and laws.
Okay,
and
so
a lot of which don't make sense.
All of you have very good points, and like I said, this is something that I can personally see a lot of pitfalls in intellectually. However, we will have to see how it works out, because you can always tear something apart, but actually seeing how it's going to go, you've got the human effort, and that's always a chaotic thing. Let's move on to a different topic, because this is starting to get into a little too deep into politics, and once again, we have a no politics rule in our Discord.
Then there was silence.
I'm sorry, I'm hard of hearing. Who said what?
You got it. I said, then there was silence.
Oh, okay.
I gotta say, I'm really impressed with 315 and 316. I'm very happy with the outcome of what we got. I'm not a PvP guy, but I'm really glad to see Jumptown and the Ninetales event, because a lot of people seem to be really into it, really enjoying it. And for me, just to be able to log into the game and dink around the way I do, and not have 30K errors, and not have stuff breaking, not be getting killed on elevators and stairs, that's nice.
Random ship explosions still happen.
Well, random ship explosions should happen.
Random decoupling of the protection in your power supply. That's what it is. Suddenly it loses containment field and goes BAM!
I wasn't trying to rationalize it or IRL it. I was just saying, I just want to mine salt, and if people's ships blow up randomly, then there's salt.
I think it was Cameral who did a pretty funny video on punching a vehicle and blowing it up.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, he took a PTV out and just kept punching it, and it finally blew up. And then he took a Pisces and started punching the back door until it finally fell off. The back door just fell off by punching it.
That's a bit ridiculous.
I watched some video titled Instant Karma, where a guy went in, killed everybody at Jumptown, took their ship. As soon as he took off and was flying back, he got 30K, which is rare nowadays, as Vasily once said. And then did it again, did the same thing, and his ship randomly exploded after he loaded it all up. It was pretty funny.
Was those truly random, or was there a sig dev watching that shit going, "Oh, I got your ass"?
Yeah, maybe they've got their own smite button.
That's always fun to talk about.
I think they should hire people as like DMs, kind of, to direct missions from CIG. You know, they can put together some sweet little mission that somebody will be like a live NPC, basically, real player.
I think they have to be very, very careful about doing that. Every game I have had that had hired people to do something like that, the people have always gone to like these fucking basement dwelling Cheeto eating motherfuckers who think they have more power than they actually have.
Well, you set certain rules before them, and if they bow out of those rules, then they don't get to be a DM anymore.
Yeah. No, I get you. There's ways around it. I'm just saying they have to be careful with it.
Oh, forsooth.
One thing I do have appreciation for is I kept thinking, we're only going to ever have maybe 100 star systems, not having after having been in Eve with 7,000 of them, and the ability to travel everywhere. I was just kept thinking for the longest time it's not going to be enough space, not enough to do. But the more I get around Stanton, just this one system that we have, I'm realizing, man, 100 systems, that's going to be way more than enough for everybody.
Yeah.
Oh, and there will
100
be
systems.
more.
100 systems. There's not going to be enough. First time it starts system. Holy fuck! This QT takes so goddamn long.
Yeah, I hope they start upgrading these quantum drives and putting more into the game with some different, especially with the bigger systems coming out.
Well, that's that's the really cool thing about the Aquila and the Karak is like with you take them out of the equation, you just any other ship. I want to go from here to Nyx. Well, I have to go to Pyro because that's the stable wormhole gate from Stanton to Pyro, and then from Pyro to Nyx is you're going to have a kind of a gate system to do that. But with the other two ships, and maybe more later on that can do it,
All ships.
the ability to find their own wormhole that might give them a direct path.
All ships.
Huh?
Sig has already said that all ships can find wormholes.
Yeah, well, let's see how that flushes out, because technically in Eve that's true, but in reality there's like a dozen ships that can actually effectively do it well. Yeah,
right.
You can mod the crap out of your ship. Whatever it did before, it won't do anymore. Right. But it will be able to find a wormhole, sure.
Right, but if you name all the ships that can do it well, and then you take them out of the equation, you're still left with all the ships being able to do it. It might be tricky, it might be hard, but they can still do it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's Man, a real tough part of the discussion for me. Yeah, but anything can happen kind of a discussion.
No, it's not anything can happen.
I'm trying to say that there are purpose-built ships that will give you a traveling advantage. And as far as making quantum faster, don't we have modified quantum drives that actually do that?
So yes, for sure. So your first statement was to take those two ships out, and they cannot find their own wormholes. That was the issue I had. It wasn't the fact that they have an advantage at finding wormholes. It wasn't the fact that they have an extremely easy time finding wormholes. It was these are the only two ships that can do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry if I didn't cover the. Maybe I misspoke. But I kind of think it goes without saying that you're not going to use a prospector to go find wormholes. It's not built for it. I
challenge accepted.
Caveated it.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be running around in a Banu Defender because the tank's big enough, and if I put a fuel-efficient quantum drive on it, one that it consumes because right now you can get an Atlas, and that is like 7.5 consumption rate with 158,000 meters per second or some bullshit. It's really fast and fuel efficient, but there are better fuel efficiencies as well. And I mean, it's got 2,500 tank. I can jump an entire system with it once you have a real efficient drive. And you can store a drive sitting on the floor, pull out your other drive, slap in a fast one or a slow one, depending on the system, and how far you have to jump.
That's an interesting. Yeah, that'd be interesting what they do with the interior physics of the ship. We may not have a cargo grid, but like you said, you might be able to set a component on the floor.
You talk about the Banu Defender, right?
Oh yeah, I fly that thing everywhere.
What size is their components?
Small. They're all small components, but the thing has a 20...
it's a Defender. I'm thinking the Banu fucking merchant. Never mind. Yeah. Never mind.
Yeah, it's got a massive tank for just a light or medium fighter, whatever the fuck they call this thing.
Yeah, because you got a lot of people think they're gonna hot swap fucking parts out of things like the fucking 890 jump and fucking capital ships and shit. And it's like, dude, Do you even know how big that shit is?
With the tractor beams, that's all you'll have to be changing shit out.
Well, the tractor beams aren't they limited to a certain amount of size that they can move?
Well, it's not just that.
There's
Go
going to
ahead,
be
man.
bigger tractor beams, though. We're going to have
Yeah.
shoulder-mounted tractor beams instead of just this little thing we hold now.
I can't remember if I'm making this up in my head or if I actually read this somewhere, but I believe Sig said that like some of the larger and the capital ship components, you won't be able to change out on the fly. You'll actually have to be at a station.
Yeah, there's certain
Yeah.
places where you'll have to be at a station, but you'll also be able to bring in like a crucible, which can change it on scene.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised in terms of space stations if we see a new class of space station that's something like a shipyard.
I think they're working
they
on
already
that.
have that.
Yeah,
Look
because
at
they have the naval yards,
Jericho.
don't they?
Go
Yeah.
look at Jericho.
Okay, yeah.
But so the crucible would be able to change out the components if they're externally mounted. If they're internal components, then the crucible can't get to them.
Well, they would have to still be moved by something within. So whether you have a big lift thing
True.
or something that you bring inside the vehicle to do that, it'll still have to, there will be something that
I see what you're
exists
saying.
to
Yeah,
do it.
you got a point there.
Oh, Jesus. I almost walked into a not elevator. And I have 32 SCU of freaking Quantanium on my ship. I got to get stored.
See, when that happens and it's about to blow up, I just park illegally and let it impound me.
So I got a Quantanium sales question, because I haven't really done any Quantanium mining. If I find Quantanium and I'm mining it, where's the quickest way I can just go sell it, not refine it, just take it someplace and sell it?
Go to the cargo spot, and instead of going to the refining terminal, go to the one to the left and sell it.
Yeah, there's one off to the left side that you can just sell it instead of refining it.
Do I have to go to a Lagrange point, or can I sell Quantanium at a major space station?
Should be able to sell it at major space stations anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the space stations have to be entangled.
The base station's what?
That was bad physics joke. Just never mind.
Quantum entanglement, get it?
I'm hoping this year that we get to see saddlebags drop on the Mole and the Prospector.
Cargo refactor in 318. Maybe.
Yeah, 318 is going to have the cargo refactor.
So does that mean that, for example, if I've got a C2 and I got friends with prospectors, they can drop off their bags at my C2 and I can take them in?
Exactly
Possibly.
that.
Oh man, because
I think
that was part of my mojo. That was part of my game plan was to buy stuff right off of people, full ore value, whatever it is, pay them right there on the spot, then take it to a refinery and make my money there.
Shit, I've been paying people for rocks. People who are doing bounty missions around Yella. If you find a rock, I'll pay them based on percentage. I spam it every time I enter a server. I get a couple people.
Do you have anybody that comes and hunts you and tries to kill you instead?
Nope. Everyone is very happy to. They're usually on fighters, and I usually only pay until I get there. And once they have the money, they don't really care, because I pay up to like 150k for a decent percentage rock based on the mass.
I mean that, and you got people going to Jumptown and like actually cooperating to get as much drugs as possible. I mean, criminals cooperating. Who's ever heard of that?
It's definitely
Organized
not the
crime,
same.
anyone?
Definitely not the same Jumptown that it used to be.
I know, right?
That other Jumptown, whether they were there for
Way
drugs
better.
or whatever, it was. You had a hammerhead parked there shooting everyone down.
That was some cutthroat shit back in the day.
That hammerhead would use its elevators to block the doorways and fucking just shoot people down as they're coming in on those turrets.
Your own org mate being co-pilot, you finally get out of the mess that is Jumptown, and he slits your throat just to sell off your shit.
Exactly. It's like, now it's all mine. Ah, the good old days. I remember my first time trying to actually fly into Jumptown. I got lost 3 fucking times. I had to rewatch that video. I don't know how many times, but once I got it, I could fly in on during the daytime or the nighttime.
I remember, for the most part, I started running just a oh fucking what's that little goddamn bullet ship thing? It was the very first information runner.
Yeah, the little
Drake Harold.
bullet-shaped one.
Yeah,
the Herald.
the Herald.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was running a Herald because it had one of the lowest signatures and it was fucking fast as shit. And I would NOE, I would nap of Earth all the way to where I had sensor data and I had visuals on Jump Talent, and then I would just start pushing it out to whoever I was helping, and like I would sit there for like hours just doing that.
I thought what CIG's answer, when the whole Odyssey thing came up, in terms of exploration and cryptography, that with them saying that's been reduced to an MFD function, and basically implying any ship can do it at any time. I thought that was kind of, I don't know, weak.
Well, it's not weak. They never said that. No, they never said that any ship couldn't do it. So this
Yeah,
is
but see, the thing is what they were doing was that was, in my opinion, that was backpedaling on on an obvious overhype of what the ship could do.
Yeah, no, they really overhyped the Odyssey, and then they had to pull back a lot of what they said about the Odyssey, and I agree with that. A lot of people think with the cartography is I've heard like, well, you've got the map room, and that's going to be the thing that allows it to do cartography, and that's not true. That's not what allows the Carrack to do cartography. It's the sensors and stuff like that. The map room is just a map room. It's just a thing to display. That's all it is.
Yeah, the Carrack and the Aquila both have a sensor suite that allow it to do what they do. You're right. It's not just one piece. There's several pieces to the entire capability, which is why I really, was being general about the Aquila and Carrack being the wormhole finders versus other ships not really being that. And so what this is where I get into this, this frustration, is because here you've got either the Aquila or the Carrack. They have a deployable antenna array tied to some specialized computers, which then feed into the cartography room. You've got all that going, purpose built for the ship. And then we're going to say, well, but technically any ship can do it. Now I'm going, that's bullshit.
Well, that's like you can use any ship to dogfight. You technically can use any ship to dogfight.
Yeah.
It's a bullshit statement, is what it is.
Well, yeah, I can agree with that, but like when you get it, I think the differentiation is more that there are people out there that believe that the Carrack and the Aquila can only do it. Like point blank, you have no chance in hell of taking any other ship and finding a wormhole. You have to have a Carrack or you have to have an Aquila, and that right there is also a bullshit statement, right?
Yep.
I'll be finding wormholes with my freaking Endeavor with the big old telescope.
Right,
There's
exactly.
Yeah,
and so part of what I'm saying is is not 100% accurate, but I'm just simply saying, I'm just talking about ships built for a job. I'm not going to dogfight with a prospector, and I'm not going to try to mine with a hurricane.
Right. No, and I get you on that one. That I have no problem with, and I think that's a reasonable way to speak. It's just I've seen it on so much fucking Star Citizen talks and stuff like that, where people will say this ship can do this, and you have to have the ship to do this. And
well, that was wasn't that the point of that? Wasn't that the whole point of the basis of Star Citizen? Decisions have consequences. You need to go out into the verse ready to do what you're going to do.
Yeah. Yes, that was one of the points, but there's also the point of you do not have to have a specific ship to enjoy a specific style of gameplay. That's always been a thing. That
Yeah,
has
well, so
always been a thing.
technically, yeah, I can mine with my Hurricane. All I have to do is put a Gray Cat utility tool on my belt, land next to a rock with my Hurricane, and have a backpack on, and I can mine. Yeah, that's true. I can do it. So
Right.
it's where
And you can also find a wormhole with a fucking Aurora. Sure, it'll take you what 9,000 days to span every space and to actually track it down, but you can do it.
Well, yeah. You see, and so with this whole wormhole finding thing, what I thought was really funny was they outright admitted that a ship that's arguably a capital class ship doesn't have the sensor capability of an Anvil Hornet tracker, nor does it have the sensor capability
That's
of a
another
Terrapin.
falsehood. That's a falsehood, though.
But CIG is the one who said it.
No, I'd have to go back and look at exactly what they said.
It's
but
in
so
the
like
Q&A. If you want to do
yeah, I know
wormhole
it's in the
finding,
Q&A. I'd have to go back and look at the exact wording of it. So the difference is that you're talking about the Hornet tracker, which has a dedicated radar to find enemies. Yeah, a capital ship, depending on the capital ship, might not have that, but they still have a large sensor, which is still going to give them more data from a further reach than a Hornet tracker, just not the dedicated data that the Hornet tracker can get. Same thing with a Terrapin. A Terrapin is a purpose-built scout ship with dedicated material to find information.
Hey, I'm just going by what the Q&A said. That's all.
Well, I'm just saying that like it has a. I don't think for one that they said it had that the Hornet tracker and the Terrapin have a better sensor suite. That's for one, and for two, that's what a lot of people have been saying, because it's like, oh well, they can find new stuff, but this thing can't. Well, it's still got two large. Doesn't it have like two large radars? The Odyssey, or it's got at least one large radar or some shit.
No idea.
Okay, so let's just go with what the Q&A actually said. What specialized sensor scanners, if any, does the Odyssey have? I don't see any dedicated scanning mapping rooms or equipment. What tools does it have to give its crew for exploration and making discoveries? Okay, so it's a couple of sentences for the answer. There are no dedicated rooms or specialized equipment as default, but that doesn't mean the Odyssey is incapable of performing these functions. A lot of future exploration gameplay mechanics will be driven from stations using MFDs. So the lack of dedicated room doesn't stop the activity from happening. However, ships that have dedicated rooms for specific features will have buffs to their abilities as a result. If you want to improve the scanning functionality of the Odyssey, there are multiple ships that excel in the role that fit within the hangars, such as the F7CR Hornet and the Terrapin.
Right. So if you want to improve, so like it's like taking any ship with a large radar, a basic large radar. If you want to improve the information and the sensor ability of that ship, you get a dedicated scout ship with dedicated tracking and dedicated sensors to do it. So it's not the fact that it's better, it's the fact that they are more precise and more dedicated.
I suppose that's one way to look at it. Me, I take that as the big ship's nearsighted, and in order to have the distance visibility you want, in order to do large-scale scanning, you need one of these two ships in its hangar.
Well, I mean, you can look at it that way as long as you ignore the dedicated sensors or special sensors. The whole question opened up with what special or dedicated sensors does it have?
And the answer was none.
Right, it doesn't have any special or dedicated sensors, just like any other large capital ship. But capital ships still can find things further out than a fighter.
I think it's going to have to do with blades. What blades you put in your computer, what kind of radar you actually put in it, because there's going to be different choices on every single thing. There will be different medium-sized computers. There will be different blades for those computers. There will be different large computers, just like we have right now with the different sizes of quantum drives and everything else that we can change. Everything's going to have variations of it that can do something better than the other. Look at the mining modules that you can throw on a laser right now. It changes what happens, and you can do the same with the computer systems. You can probably do the same with radars by different modules.
Well, there's a good example right there. Like, so when I think I saw it, I haven't played in a while. Can any ship detect mines or mineable resources?
Yeah.
Yes.
Does the
Any
mining
ship that have a scanner.
does the mining ships do it better?
Not necessarily.
Right now, no, they don't.
Right now they don't.
No.
Okay, then I would see that as a deficit. I think the mining ship should have a radar that's dedicated to finding minables.
I think on the next iteration of radar is where that's going to get, where you
Right,
can
but they
actually
have.
switch
That's
out
the other thing is
modules.
they haven't fucked with signatures radars or anything like that in a while. I know that's been on the docket, but it
Right.
keeps getting pushed back.
Yeah, they're building in more stability, which shows. I mean, the game is the most stable it's ever been.
Yeah, that's the thing I appreciate so much is the game is just more and more playable on the last two patches. I don't know what's going to happen in 3.16.1 or 3.17, but right now, man, it is sweet.
Well, the nice thing is they're actually listening to us now. If you're going to give us a game that's going to be of this caliber, and the game is phenomenal. We'll never dig on the game. I've enjoyed it the whole time I've played it, even with the 30Ks, and they are frustrating. I will not disagree with that, but by making it more stable, more playable, and not making it, because I agree with Nubifier, we ain't seeing this full game until at least 5 to 10 years, and I'm betting closer to 10.
I can agree with that assessment.
I think beta in 5 or 6 years. I think the game won't release for at least 10.
Thank you.
What armor is that has like a nozzle and a hood? I just saw some guy wearing it. He's not answering me.
You could buy that on Hurston.
Hurston? Sweet.
Yeah,
I
it's
think once they
Armitex
get
or something like that.
I think you have to wear the entire suit to get the nozzle on the hood. I think if you switch the helmet out with a different thing, or if you switch the torso out with a different thing, then you don't get it.
It just looks badass. I'm gonna get like fucking 50 sets of that.
Yeah, and that's the blue-eyed one, and then if you want the red-eyed one, we have to go to a security bunker and kill the security guards and steal it from them.
So if it's
why haven't we done that? Let's fucking do that.
So if it's blue-eyed and it's white, does that make it blue-eyed white asshole? I don't know.
I think we get 4.0 this year in Star Citizen. I think the people are wanting to push this out 5-10 years for because it's taken so long already. I think that's because the tech debt that they already had that they had to catch up with, and now they're getting caught up with all the big stuff. You had OCS, SOCS, you have bind culling, you have all this, even the bullet tracker or whatever that they put in. All of that shit has taken a ton of time to implement, and I think once they get these major pillars in place, you've got Quanta, you've got servers, meshing and all that shit. Once that's in, we're going to see things be implemented in the game a lot faster, I believe.
I think you're right, Lamb. I think you're hitting on something. But I think what you're talking about, let's just use an example, a generic example of all those things you just said. Let's just look at Planet Tech, where we can procedurally generate out a variety of different planets, and let's just say Turbulent is using that, and they're grinding out the systems, and that's a great example of that. But I just took, pick a mechanic, any mechanic, and let's drill down on it. So let's use salvage since that's coming next. So we're going to have to do salvage tier 0, and then it's going to have to iterate to tier 1, tier 2, and whatever it's going to go up to. And that's just one mechanic. What about data intercept, data collection, data scales?
Silly. I don't think you need to move on yet, because in order for salvage, with the way that they described how salvage is going to work, salvage tier 0 is just pulling the component and like scrapping metal, right? But then like you've got to also move into like sub game effects, like you have to have physicalized material, which is something that they're working on. You have to have physicalized damage. You have to have physicalized exploding modules or fucking pixels and stuff like that. There's a lot that goes into just like the way that they want to do salvage, and that in and of itself is a development scheme.
Right.
But they've already developed a bunch of the back end for that. If you think about how they've implemented where you get shot is where it shows up. You remember the tech demo back in the day where you could write your name in bullets?
No, but the problem, Lamb, is like right now they're working on the physicalized material, which is supposed to be giving statistics to each material to include hardness, penetration value, and a bunch of other stuff,
Yeah,
strength, and all that.
Right.
That is not done. That is still being worked on. They are
Well, of course,
still
we would
like
have
in the
armor
very
by then.
basics of it.
yeah. I think the basic salvage is only going to be picking up one material. Is what
It'll
they.
it'll be a
It's-
laser scraper,
Right,
basically.
right. That's it. Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to scrape the skin off of a ship. But then what I was trying to kind of get into was the vulture is going to slice up its target, and so will the reclaimer. But the reclaimer will then grind up its target. So there's the jaws, the internal grinding room, and all that. That's what I was thinking would just take forever and a day. Is each mechanic that has all those details in it.
Right. No,
I think what's going to take forever is when you can salvage like actual parts. I think that's going to take the longest part.
Oh
I
no,
think
that's
I think
coming next with
I think
physicalized.
simple. Sorry, go ahead.
With the physical, that's going to be the easy one. Is physicalizing each component that we can pull in and out. That's a lot easier.
I think simple one is talking about taking forever as in player aspect versus developmental aspect.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean to actually get the shit out of the ship? Yeah, you're going to have to hands on it.
So, anyways, if and I hope I'm wrong, because who am I? I'm not a programmer. I don't code games. What do I know? I just, I have the empirical observation of I play the game, I see what's happening and how fast stuff's coming online. But I totally get what you're saying about the underlying technology having taken so long. I got that early on, and I hope you're right that a lot of this stuff just pops. Comes
Well,
in the next year or two, it just pops.
think about it. If you get something completed, like for instance, Tony Z's on a massive project with Quanta, and as soon as he's done with that, and imagine again the server meshing team, those people suddenly become free because you're only going to have a couple people maintain it and tune it rather than having the whole team work it. Those team members are going to move on to other projects, which are going to open up more things occurring quicker.
Yeah, it makes sense. It really does. I hope to see, I think we're at that point. Well, I think since 3.0, in my opinion, stuff has been happening in an increasing rate. And I'm talking about the major stuff in the back end that you don't really necessarily see. I feel like that stuff's been happening at a faster and faster rate.
Oh yeah,
I
for sure. I
agree.
mean, their team has been expanding quite a bit, especially with all the extra funding that they get. This is one of the best financial years that they've had so far. So
Nearly 100 million in 1 year. I mean, that is
Yep.
just bonkers.
Yeah, yeah, and so
and this was supposed to be during a time where people were low on money and were experiencing, job shortages and stuff like that.
I'm it's the success, the financial success of this year. I think is going to be a double-edged sword. On the one side, yeah, you got the money that's coming in, but I look at what they did on the last ship sales, the last few ship sales, and I look at what they did with the Luminalia as an example, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, they're letting the marketing department have too much of a hand in this. You know, I'll just about bet you that the developers had a different notion of how the ships themselves would come out, and Disco Lando probably had a different notion how Luminalia would flesh out versus what the marketing department wound up doing.
I mean, at the end
It's
of
a
the day, they're gonna
special
want money.
balance.
Money's what really controls everything. So
I'm
Well,
good with however they raise it as long as they keep building the game.
yeah,
right.
exactly.
I mean, a lot of us feel that way, but there's a certain point at which how much of the garbage do you take? How much of the bait and switch do you take before you start developing a sour taste in your mouth?
It's been going on 10 years. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to change. Look at how much salt there is and how many tiers there are over certain things, yet they still had a record year. It doesn't make sense. They're the loud arguments, but they're nonsensical because it just doesn't match the data.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's one thing I come back on. Is we're all voting. Every dollar we spend is another way we say, hey, CIG, what you're doing is fine. Keep it up and do more.
I don't mind it. I mean,
Yeah.
shit. I was pissed off about the whole, even the ion thing. That bugs me to death to no end because it's a size
Oh
seven. A
yeah.
size seven. I think there are certain guns in the ship that should one-shot fighters. Period. They're big. They're powerful. They're scary. Leave it at that. Still doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm still have an ion. I'm not gonna melt it. I may bitch about it, but look, there's going to come a time where everything's rebalanced again, anyways, because they're going to implement physicalized armor and all of that bullshit. And what Chief was talking about with each thing having its own properties, its own hardness densities, and what it reflects and what it absorbs and what it does. So the whole thing's going to be changed yet again. The whole
Oh yeah.
entire flight system and
Absolutely.
combat system.
Well, so initially I had a problem with over promising and under delivering, whether it's meeting a certain time or a quantity or a certain performance level, over promising and under delivering. And then over time, I finally realized, look, you know, this is a relatively new trail that's being blazed in this particular game, given its scope. So I finally realized, look, they're breaking new ground here, so they may not fully understand. So it's not a purposeful thing. So I have nothing but forgiveness for that. Then when it came to ship sales, uh, there's a lot of ships out there that have been marketed and sold, and we've gotten into this pattern of, well, this becomes the meta. For example, when the Hurricane came out, it was the meta of the moment, and then it wasn't. Same with other ships that would come
Oh,
later.
the Hurricane's still a beast. It's even tougher
Oh yeah.
now.
It is.
So so I'm just saying that that's the balancing thing. And initially it kind of jarred me a bit, but then I got used to it. But what I saw these last five ships that were sold, I thought, because I got kind of got I felt like I got sucked into the 400i. I went and got one and gone, okay, this ship is awesome. It's really great. It's that, and I'm reading all these reviews, not just what CIG's putting out, but a whole bunch of people who got the ship said, "Man, this is awesome." And I'm going, "This doesn't fit my gameplay at all. Where's the awesomeness in this?" And so I wound up, I didn't melt it per se, but I used it as an upgrade token to something else. And then I didn't buy any of the other ships. I just decided on my own. Look, the Argo, uh, the Argo cargo,
Raft.
the raft, the Argo raft. It's like, hey, that's a cool feature. We can latch and snatch cargo cans. And I thought that was pretty cool. But then they said the ship's strength was in its armor. We're not going to see that for a long time. so, so I was like, okay, I'll pass on that one. Then the what was it? Was after that was the Odyssey, and then what was the other new ship that we got?
Liberator.
Uh,
Anvil Liberator.
yeah, Liberator.
Cargo ship too, the alien cargo ship, right?
That was a while ago, wasn't it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
The Raylin.
The Raylan, yeah. The Raylan, the only reason I didn't get it, I didn't get it. The triangle external cargo, I didn't understand that, so
I like. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just didn't understand. I got the Liberator, but I had and it turns out that that was a better, for my gameplay, way better choice than the Odyssey ever would have been.
I
But that
like.
was for me.
I was gonna say I like how the alien ship. There was like when it first came out, there was like a bunch of talk about it, but now you don't hear shit about it.
I
Yeah.
love. I
So,
absolutely love alien
Just
ships.
F30K.
Same. Same.
what was the alien ship we just recently got that didn't have an alien tax on it?
And wasn't that the Raylin?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it was the first. That was one thing I did notice. Is like I was expecting it to be a much higher price ship than it was, and it came out what, 300
I
or
think. I think that was because they realized with the odd cargo and stuff like that that it was going to be kind of it's going to be kind of offish, right?
well, the Raylan. One thing I do like about that ship from a lore standpoint, I like how they said its strength is going to be its agility and speed, its ability to get up and get down really quickly. I'm like, okay, well, that's a good advantage.
Yeah, I turned my Ion into an Odyssey as soon as they refactored it and didn't. It was no longer a sniper.
Yeah, they ruined me. I will most likely never buy another ship from Star Citizen Cash. It's the last 5 ships I bought, they really fucked up, and I'm not doing it anymore. And I agree with Nubifier. You could buy any ship at any time.
Yeah. Well, and
I do it just because I believe. I believe in the game.
I'll probably get another ship in the future, like this bike when it comes out. I think it's pretty cool. I'm probably gonna get it.
Oh yeah, same. I think that bike is gonna be awesome. As soon as it comes out, I'm gonna buy it just because of this new grav live rework.
I haven't seen much on it.
It's basically it's a hover snowmobile. I mean, think of it like that. It's basically
fair enough.
Snowmobile.
Fair enough.
Be made by
do that.
consolidated out, and so I'm guessing when it lands, it won't actually touch the ground. It'll hover maybe like the Nomad. That's what I'm guessing.
I'm not gonna. So like, I don't want to make any definitive statements about not buying ships or anything because like, I think there's always going to be a case where you might change your mind. Now I'm not speaking of you guys particularly. I'm just talking in general.
Yeah.
I've bought ships that I'm happy with, and my lineup is fairly what I want to do, and I don't think there's going to be a ship that I'm going to want until the game comes out, and in which case I can buy it in game once I can actually play.
I didn't see you on there.
But like, I don't know, man. Like it's weird for me because I got a very particular case set of like what I want to do in game and stuff like that, and there's not a lot of ships that actually meet that purpose.
Well, I mean, from a miner standpoint, if you're a miner, there is a ship that was achievable for $350. It's over I think it's 500 or more now. It is the Legatus Navium package in one ship, and that's the Orion. If you got the Orion, there is no ship in the game you cannot get because of how much money that darn thing can make.
Oh yeah.
Right. But see, and that's the thing is like I don't. But that's a huge ship with what's the crew complement, like 5?
7.
Like minimum crew?
Minimum crew might be 4 or 5.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
If I can get it to take off on its own, it's a one-person ship. That's the way I see it. If I can fly it, I'll run to the laser beams and all that trash.
I mean, right now, yeah, but like we haven't really seen what they're going to do with multi-crew, and they're going to have to legitimize like why you have a minimum crew on a ship, right?
Yeah.
Well, they might. It may or may not. I mean, just like you keep saying, anything can happen.
That's true. But like, so I don't want like I think the largest crew complement I have, and that's max crew of my ships is like 4 or 5. That's where I'm comfortable. I don't want ships that require lots of crew. I don't want like huge ships. The largest 2 ships I have is the MSR and the Connie Andromeda.
I mean, you're gonna have hireable NPCs. I think the main purpose or the main driving point for the minimum crew might not be systems related, that someone has to be there to be moving those systems, but rather boarding support. Because there was another game that I used to play where if you take out the big ship and you're only one dude and another ship comes by and they have 4 people, they're gonna board you and they're gonna take all your stuff, and you don't want to do that.
I mean, that might be one way they go with it.
I think that might be a big driving factor on the minimum crew for it, and you're gonna have NPCs to be able to hire and do those systems for you, but realistically, you want real people.
But they said that like having NPCs is never going to be as good as having people, right?
Yeah, realistically, the ultimate goal is to have an actual crew in your ship instead of NPCs.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the things. One of the gameplays I keep hearing out there, like it's just going to happen anytime, anywhere, is this whole idea of piracy. Yeah, somebody could take my ship or whatever. Well, as far as I can tell, with all the people we have in, only 50 people per server right now, but let's just, put everybody capable of playing in Stanton. It's still a big play. Maybe only one person, but it's a big space. So the assumption that a pirate can find any ship he wants, board it any time he wants, take it any time he wants, is kind of a silly notion. People don't say it that way, but it's said with such frequency.
Right.
It's as if they think it can happen at any time. I got
Well-
news for you. The problem you're going to have flying solo is not with people; it's with NPCs. You know, those what we in Eve call rats. Or
Right.
They're pirates. We just refer to them as rats. And if you can deal with the rats, you're good to go.
No, I agree with that, and that goes to what I said earlier about like piracy is not going to be as big a thing as people think it is.
Well, piracy is more going to be a job of opportunity. You know,
Right.
It's whatever comes around you. But I think boarding is also going to apply to NPCs. That's what I'm thinking, and that's what
for
you're
sure.
going to have trouble holding off. Is yeah, you're one guy in a big ship, but if you get a lot of little fighters after you, a lot of those NPCs, and they start boarding, they that's going to be tough.
Speaking on that subject, I am horribly interested in the Vandal breaching ship.
Yeah.
Oh, that dart or whatever? Yeah. That looks
It's
badass.
gonna be awesome.
Gonna boink through your hole and make a big hole and then open up.
I just see a Astartes boarding ship playing out in my mind.
I want to steal one. I want to own one.
So if you're doing piracy, just a little question for the guys who might like to do piracy. If you're doing piracy, in other words, you want to actually go take stuff from other people or take stuff from other ships, where are you going to do it? Are you going to do it? Are you going to go look for that needle in the haystack, or are you going to go where there's a rich target environment?
Depends. I mean, you might you'd be surprised at how many clues people give away in global chat, and maybe you're not out pirating, but maybe someone says, hey, I'm doing this, or I'm over here, or something like that, or I'm mining, or I just got a massive haul of Fontanium. Woo-hoo.
Oh yeah,
and
people
you can like guess out where they're going. You can just wait out at the refinery or where their end
people
location is.
people have no OPSEC skills, man.
And I would call that part of the rich target environment. Idiots can be their own rich target environment.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
that just makes my point is, are you going to take the time to get out there and, you know, okay, let me jump to this part of the belt, start scanning, nobody's here. Let me jump over here, start scanning, nobody's here. Or are you going to take advantage of intel like that? Or are you going to go where you know there's a lot of targets? And I just think that's how piracy is going to play out.
So no, I think you're right. So I think there's going to be two avenues of approach with it. There's going to be informational piracy, which is piracy based off of information, like you were talking about, people saying certain things or picking up remnants of rumors and shit like that in Oregon and putting it together. And I think there's going to be locational piracy, right?
Yeah,
so like main avenues of approach and exit, main avenues of transport, and main avenues of stuff like that. I can see that. So I agree with you on that one, Vasily.
You know what? Thanks for sharing that with me on the guy talking out loud, because I have multiple characters. I'm going to use that. I'm going to have my guy purposely talking out loud about how awesome he's doing in a place he's really not.
Yeah, no, and that's going to be part of the game. I mean, that's the social engineering aspect of it. You're going to have pirates that go as far as invade organizations and discords and fucking try to find out their big ship logins and shit like that.
That's already a part of the game.
Oh no, it is. Yeah. It is.
I have just removed like 5 people from our org on RSI because they are leaders or are high-level members of infiltration or piracy orgs, and they have us as affiliate.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like right now, there's no major benefit for them, but imagine when there is. That's gonna just drive up that, that urge to go out there and make it big on one haul.
Eve 2.0.
Yeah. So at this point in time, this is gonna sound like me being a paranoid conspiracy nut, but this is the way it works. Right now you have the insertion phase, right? So there's not a whole lot in game that you can do, and there's not a whole lot in game that you can gain from it. So what you want to do right now is you want to insert assets, or you want to cultivate assets in different orgs. By the insertion and cultivation, you're establishing the base work that you're going to need later on.
Oh yeah, sleeper agents.
Well, happy New Year, guys. I gotta get going.
See you, Vassie.
Later, Vassie.
All right, Vass, take care, bud.
Man, this new setup tech, I have not experienced any lag in any city on the highest settings. no matter what. Like, this is amazing.
I might actually try to get on.
You should. It's been quite fun.
I'll see how my computer, like, if my computer starts screaming, I'm getting off again. But like, I'll see how my computer does.
I have two computers running right now next to each other, old build and a new one.
I'm running something that I built back in 2013 when I got back from Afghanistan, buddy.
Oh, same. I have a water-cooled 4th gen Intel 980 build.
My biggest problem isn't so much the fact that it literally cannot run Star Citizen, because I can run Star Citizen, I can get into Star Citizen. It's the issues that are faced when I'm in Star Citizen.
Yeah, no, I hear you there.
Those are far less than lately, though.
Slideshow City on my old PC. Now I just run everything at 60 FPS, and that's most likely capped at the monitor that I'm using, because it's capped at 60.
Yeah, it's really hard to make people salty when you can't shoot them because of desync.
Yeah. Exactly.
But no, so there's a lot of people out there that currently think they're playing 5D chess. I know of 3 or 4 different orgs out there, and I'm talking with 3 or 4 different orgs that specifically are trying to play the social engineering game. Like the entire fucking org.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt that, because of the scope of this game that it's going to be. Like, that is going to pay off big time for them. If they get it right, that is.
Well, you've got that. Like, there is going to be benefit to it, and you get this with all games. But you also have a lot of EVE players that are coming over.
Yep.
And in EVE, where because of the real monetary value of some of the stuff that's in there, you get a very, very interesting dynamic to the social engineering.
Oh, of course. I mean, imagine stealing a carrick and being able to sell it on eBay for like $400.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Or half a carrick, maybe just parts of a carrick. That shit's very expensive in the game. Maybe it's only $50 for like a fucking engine of a carrick, but there's gonna be a lot of people hunting down carricks.
So it's very interesting because, like, because of what I do for the org and because of what I do in general, just for my own personal amusement, I'm talking simultaneously with people who have a very good in-depth knowledge of social engineering and espionage-esque aspects. But I'm also talking with people who think they know a lot and they're fucking retards. My apologies for anybody who is insulted by the R word, but it is what it is.
No, it definitely is.
That's the weirdest word to get upset over. I mean, it literally has a meaning. It's slowed. It's less than.
Slowed and or hampered.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't see a problem with it. People that got problems with words, I got problems with those people. It's very strange.
Yeah. Well, I got yelled at one time for calling myself a retard. What I said was I was on something and I couldn't figure something out.
Probably all the assets go
away
at each reset.
And I was like, oh, my bad, I was being retarded, disregard what I said. And then some rando came on and was like, don't use the R word, it's so offensive.
So I'm offending myself when I call myself it?
Yeah, no, I called him out on it. I was like, well, the definition of retarded and retard is someone who is slowed and or hampered, or something that is slowed and or hampered.
Yeah, people just need to understand that sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's really a thing, and people need to apply it more often than they do. It's very strange to want to tell somebody else what can and cannot be coming out of their mouth, when you can simply turn and walk away and not have to listen to it.
Right, and for the most part, I completely agree with that. There are certain words that I do believe that should remain not in public discourse.
Oh no, I get that. I know exactly what you're saying, and no, that makes sense. It's still to limit somebody on what they can say. Because I'm more of a free speech absolutist. Right. Yeah, I think it's messed up. I don't agree with it. I think it's a horrible thing to say. However, should I have the right to tell somebody they can and can't say it? No.
Well, I go as far as, like, I don't believe, like, there should be an actual legal or governmental or something like that, right? But I do believe that as a person, I have the right to tell people that they can't say certain things in my house, and I have the right to
Oh,
say
for sure.
that they can't say certain things in my business.
For sure. I agree with that. And I'm cool with that. It's just when your business becomes so large, you shouldn't have the opportunity when it becomes actual, built upon the rules of our Constitution, a free nation. You should
Right.
have to follow those rules, especially when you're as large as you are, where you have literally billions of users. Then it's something different. It's a utility.
Are we talking about social? Are we getting into the realm of like social media censorship now?
Yeah, a little bit.
Okay. I think I agree with you. I mean, that's a hard fucking talk, man.
Then they should be because private businesses are phone companies, right? Then we're protected.
Yeah, first blush, I agree with you. But there's a lot of variances, and there's a lot of small things that would have to get discussed and stuff for me to formulate a hard opinion. Does that make sense?
Right. I just think people should be able to choose what they do and don't watch. And if you have a problem with it, just don't watch it. Don't listen to it.
I fully agree with that.
But don't go canceling them.
Yeah,
it's better to have those people out there that are shitbags, so you know who the shitbags are. When you censor them, all you're doing is censoring out people who are dickheads and people you don't like, and that's not good for society because then we don't know who those people are.
Yeah, no, I fully agree with that. The putting information out there, regardless of how abject, disagreeable it is always good because dissenting opinions breed conversation, and conversation always breeds enlightenment.
Exactly. Well, it's the only way to enlightenment.
Right. I'm sorry, guys. We kind of got deep into that little aspect, but no, people are fucking, man. I am a person who loves video gaming. I've been video gaming since like Windows 98 was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been gaming forever. Back when Black Cauldron was a thing.
One of my first major investments was fucking Roller Coaster Tycoon, old school.
I've been competitively gaming and troll gaming for a long time too. Like I used to play the old MechWarrior Mercenaries, like the original MechWarrior Mercenaries, when like you had like your orgs and you could take a Jenner and fucking destroy a goddamn Atlas. And I got into like other first-person shooters and basically anything that had an online competitive mode. I was kind of in for a long while. Of course, I also grew my internet chops on things like 4chan and stuff, which people believe are fucking toxic now. Even though 4chan has put more pedophiles away than the FBI.
Dude, yeah. I didn't even know what 4chan was until this year. I didn't know it.
How is that possible?
I didn't go down.
I mean, that's fair enough. There's a lot of people who don't know what it is. It's like
but it's been on the news even for people who don't really.
That's how I found out about it.
That's because the people on the news don't know what the fuck they're talking about. They need someone to blame. Like the only thing that you can actually blame on 4chan is anonymous. That's it.
Yeah.
And the trolls, like trolling people. And
yeah, but that's the internet itself. That's just something that came with the internet and being able to talk to people. That's not 4chan. There's trolls everywhere.
4chan is
it just happens to have a lot of trolls, absolutely. But
yeah. That's kind of what 4chan was made for. It's like you can get on, you can just fuck with people. That is what 4chan is.
That is a good chunk of 4chan, absolutely.
But no, there's a lot of I don't know, dude. People just get like so fucking retarded, and there's
people are sensitive.
Yeah, and I see that on Spectrum too. It's like you get the people what people call Care Bears, and they're like, oh, I just want to mine and not be fucked with. It's like, dude, did you read the description of the fucking game?
Yeah, that's a silly thing. People that come into a game where you can interact with other players that have weapons, you better expect to get nuked by somebody. Somebody's going to be out there doing it. Period.
So Radar got me into this org chat thing to check it out, right? Because of the whole intel side of it. And I'm in there, and there's people that were bitching because like there was a social engineering account that got added onto the org chat, right? Now, ostensibly what the whole Discord server is for a bunch of org people to get together and talk about running and maintaining an org and how to do it, stuff like that. It's an open forum. But there's people bitching,
Right.
oh, he's sinister, he's evil. And it's like, really, dude?
You might be in the wrong org then.
I mean, are you really serious right now? I mean, like the only thing that this Discord server put out is like people who are leaders of orgs are going to be here to talk. So, and public relations is by definition a leadership role. I don't know what you're talking. This is like the one place that you would expect to see PR people.
Feel like I'm missing one. Big rocks.
I love people. I love the soul. I love the soul.
I
I'm
am a
just
fan of
excited
people.
for more things to be fleshed out in this game. Like, this has been a very, very good year, and 2022 is looking very nice for them.
It's going to be even better.
I am waiting to see where they go with two major aspects, in my opinion. The first one is the whole sensor and signal relationships, and the second one is parachutes and jump packs.
Oh my god, parachutes are an absolute must with atmospheric bounties and shit now. And flying.
Yeah.
They can't really do parachutes. They have to do something like. They have to do grappling hooks. Grappling hooks may work. They have to do something like parachutes, but you have to understand that parachutes work off the basic premises of air friction, right?
Well, yeah. So depending on what planet you're on, you could get more or less. But having like a jump pack that you can have burst fire your thrusters just before hitting the ground and slow your descent.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. Something like a parachute-like item, but that's feasible within the mindset of what we're actually doing, right?
Yeah, a propulsive system is about the best route.
Yeah. I was actually on the initial call for that when Planet Tech first came out, and then they put a hold on it. So I'm waiting for them to email me and tell me that they're ready to talk about it again.
Nice.
Well,
yeah, propulsion is definitely the way to go because you're gonna have planets that don't have any resistance, and then how do parachutes work there?
Well, and we've already got thrusters on suits, so why not, right? Just let us use them.
You'll have there's that aspect, but you also have planets that have ultra thick atmospheres, and with like a 5-mile-an-hour wind, they can rip your parachute apart.
Yeah, that too. Imagine trying to land on Microtech in the middle of one of those blizzards.
Yeah.
With a parachute.
But I mean, we successfully have a helicopter on Mars, so anything's fucking possible, right?
Just add ornithopters into the game. Call it a day. I'll buy those up.
Ornithopters.
I'll buy that up real quick.
Those things are so neat. They're like big old dragonflies.
Yeah, they are. It's fucking sweet.
So I find it funny because I figured there would be a lot more people in the Star Citizen community that had experience and or expertise in parachuting and airborne style activities. There was only 3 of us.
Hey, I've fast roped out of a freaking Black Hawk, so that's funsies.
Yeah, see, that's something like I have my my fast rope badge as well. I will fucking jump out this fucking helicopter and hit the ground kind of hard and don't die. Thanks, Dick.
Here's a pair of leather gloves. Don't wrap too tight or you'll fuck yourself up, and bye.
Yeah, I got the first time that I did anything with a rope out of a helicopter was Hurricane Gustav. We were pulling people off of roofs in Louisiana. And the second time I did it was fast roping in the airborne unit. Second time was a lot more fun, and a lot more dangerous, and a lot more painful. Would do it again. 10 out of 10. Do not suggest doing it.
I loved it when I was doing it, but I think I would probably hurt myself nowadays.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I really, if like no one has to do it, I don't suggest anybody takes and tries to slide down a fucking rope to insert into anything. However, it was fun as fuck, and I would probably do it again, even if I would fucking kill myself.
Right. I loved the rappelling and stuff like that as well. That was a whole shit ton of fun. Like actual wall rappelling. I never got to learn to do the face down, weapons forward, but
Oh, what do they call it? The spider rappel or the Australian rappel?
yeah, where you've, it's so badass. I wanted to learn how to do that so bad.
It looks badass, but like in the airborne unit, we discouraged it greatly because we had idiots that would hit their face on the fucking floor, right?
They'd forget that their hand is back there controlling the rope.
Yeah. There was
No, you got to straighten your arm out, not put it closer. Straighten it to the side. It'll stop you, fool.
Like, yeah, a lot of our command came from special forces, right? Like 19th Group and other attack groups, because they would come to us because they needed command, and the special forces community is so small they couldn't get their command time. So we got a lot of the special ops guys, and even they said like that stuff looks cool on TV, but it's like there's very few times you would actually want to use it.
Right.
Hey,
Only.
Chief,
Ole,
right, real quick, what permissions do you need
More
to get
coffee.
in this channel? I just invited one of my friends in the EC.
is he in? Have him post in welcome.
All right.
I got to get more coffee. Be right back.
All right, Lamb Chop. Sorry about that.
You're gold.
Like-
Don't worry about it.
They got everything locked down. Yeah, just have him post in welcome so I can see his name, and then I'll give him visitor or something like that perm. That way he can get in here, or I'll just drag him down. We'll get him hooked up. Or just DM me his name so I can, like, fuck with his. Well, no, he's got to be in here first. I'm a retard.
I'm back. So I've got the in-laws over hanging out, and everybody's wearing basically Christmas outfits. They're all, the black and red, like fluffy frilly necks around them, and they're like the onesie pajamas. They want me to put on, it's a Grinch outfit, basically. God, this has such delay.
All right, stand by.
Yeah, it's not letting me invite him for some stupid reason.
It's not letting you invite him at all?
I've sent him 2 invites. Where you right click on their name and invite to Discord. I've sent him 2 invites for it, but it's not letting. He said he's not seeing it.
All right, give me. Are you? Look up at the welcome. Do you have a little person with a plus sign above it?
Oh, please, no. Yeah.
Click on that and get a link and send him that link.
I'm having so
the
much
problem is
fun
we used to have a bot that handled a lot of our stuff, but that bot broke, so we don't have it anymore. So like we're trying to figure out exactly how we want to go about doing things right now. So it's a little wonky.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Did we ever discover the or discuss the PvP stuff? I wasn't here last week because of Christmas.
Which PvP stuff? Jumptown?
I'm pretty sure.
What'd it do, Magoo? Hey, don't do that.
Yeah, Yeah, it was me and you that had that whole discussion about 3 weeks ago when I think it was Red Shirt and that other dude in Public Star Citizen were going round and round about him getting ganked.
Trying to remember the incident and trying to remember what I said about all that.
Complete. Have a pleasant stay.
You could just look back at our chat history.
I could.
That's right, bitch. I'm making you read.
No, I'm waiting for your friend to pop in so I can deal with that.
Problem is, he joined and then lost the Discord when he got a new computer. So I sent it to him, and it says he's joined already.
Oh, it's saying he's joined already? All right, stand by.
Yeah, but he's not showing up in our thing unless he's showing
La
up
la
online.
la, I got some applesauce. La la la, so do you. La,
Yeah, I don't have anybody in here named Rasmus in the members list.
Yeah, I know he was in here before. We invited him, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months ago.
We don't have anybody banned either.
No, he's not banned. I don't know what he did or why he's not able to get in.
Yum.
Yeah, I sent him an invite that way too. We'll see. I copied and pasted it to him and then sent him one.
Oy vey.
Yeah, but if he can post in welcome, then I can or if he can even fucking join the server. Oh hey, look, new guest perms. I got it.
Just FYI, he's a decent guy. Actually, he's a good guy, but he's very opinionated. So you two might get along horribly.
There, I gave him visitor perms and stuff like that, so he should be able to at least get in this channel.
I'm mining some quantanium, just like the rocks we used to break. Wonder if this is all working okay. Hey, hey, hey. Come in. Let me in the elevator.
Oh wow, I can invite him to all kinds of fucking servers. Holy shit. That's how you know I don't use this damn thing, right?
I don't even know if we're all on a server together or not.
Oh, I'm talking about Discord servers, boo. All right, simple one. He has visitor perms and stuff like that, so I'm guessing he should be able to get in here.
What's that?
Or I'm sorry, Tech Wolf. Rasmus now has visitor perms and stuff like that, so he should be able to get into at least public. Let me look at the server things, and I'll tell you where he can get into.
Alright, we could jump down that C1 or whatever.
Taking care of business. One job at a time.
Hi, good to have you back.
There he is.
What?
Your mic's
See
muted,
anything
Raz.
you like?
Stand by.
See if that actually took.
Hey, can you speak, Rasmus?
Yeah, just setting a push to talk.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so he's got visitor perms for right now. Duperfire is the one that actually does all of our influxing or whatever the fuck you call it, our inboarding process.
Yeah, I was in the server a couple months ago. I've been out of the country for a few months, and when I logged in Egypt, it fucked up all the channels, so I got kicked out of a bunch of stuff.
Oh man, did you log into like Egypt without a VPN?
Yeah, no, I didn't do any of that shit. I wasn't even planning on gaming while I was over there, but I spent so much time over there that I was in chat with people.
Yeah, I got you, buddy. That sucks.
Yeah, nothing quite works there. Like they have, if you don't have a
come on
VPN, you
now.
can't access any sites in the U.S. because they think you're a fucking terrorist or something.
Yeah. Well, they think you're CIA is why. I.e. terrorist. Same thing. CIA terrorist. Same thing.
Oh yeah, dude. If you say any bad word about anybody in Egypt, they ban you from everything. Like
Yeah.
you can't even watch the news over there because when they had the coup 10 years ago, anybody that said a bad word about new leadership, there's no access. Like even Al Jazeera doesn't work in Egypt.
Yeah, no. Well, the second thing Anonymous got famous for was sending ways to circumvent Egypt's fucking network problems to their people. What, way back in the day when there was like a citywide lockdown or something like that, and the government was being dicks. So no, they've had a history of not being really good with letting people get information or letting people speak their minds.
They've got some of the best scuba diving in the world, and they're pretty shit at almost everything else.
I'm not sure that's what I would want to be known as by a country. Great scuba diving. Life sucks ass.
Yeah, there's days you wake up, you have no power, no running water. That's a common occurrence.
Jesus.
Yeah, so that part not so great. Everything else, good people. Like all the guys that I know there, that I've been working with for the last 7 months are great. But the military, the police are completely fucking backwards.
Well, I mean, and that's like being with the military experience that I have. That I find that a lot. Like the country and the overall way that the country is ran, or like the officials and stuff like that, are shit. And life is shit in that country. But people in general, like individual people, are usually you'll get some really good gems out of them.
Oh yeah, no, the people are great, but like the military that was supposed to be guarding us while we were working, they had APCs and AK-47s, but no magazines, no bullets. The police have the holster and the uniform, but no pistol. I mean, it's
that's fucking awesome.
We just got a few new items in. So
Nothing to say shoot me, like running around with a goddamn iron stick that has no purpose.
like, I mean, at least give them an empty magazine. You're absolutely no deterrent if you don't even have the fucking magazine.
I know.
Management just wanted to make a general announcement to check your valve settings. We've been
We used to beanbag motherfuckers if they had an AK with no magazine.
Oh, Jesus.
Hey, Lamb, you're not in our server, actually. I just looked.
Alright, you guys... I'm gonna hop off and do some Saturday morning stuff. You guys have fun.
Asta, Chief.
Right, Chief, take care. Thanks.
I'm gonna keep mining. Keep streaming and mining. Streaming and mining. Streaming and mining.
You coming in, Raz?
Yeah, give me a second.
One.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. I just put a fresh copy in, but I would keep getting the wireframe bugs at any time I try to pull a ship out.
Simple one. Just build a state-of-the-art computer.
Nice. I need to, well, I'm going to probably wait a couple more years before I build anything bleeding edge, but this one's a year old now, so.
I mean, I needed an upgrade. I had a 980 and a 4th gen Intel processor. I now an 11th gen. Oh, and I also had DDR3 still. So now I got 11th gen processor, 3080 Ti, and DDR4 32 gigabytes at almost 4K megahertz.
I think I'm gonna server hop. Let me see. Ace is here. Maybe not.
All right, put you guys on comms or headset.
Are you flying into Lorville, Tech?
No, not yet. I'm in the space station though.
Oh, okay. I was like, why are you so close, but yet so far away? These little nomads are nice. They can jump you anywhere, and their claim is like 40 seconds.
I know, that's pretty impressive.
Oh shit! The other night when Redshirt and I went out and really pissed in some people's gravy at Jumptown, that I was flying that C8 Pisces, and I completely upgraded it now. I'm loving that ship, just using it to fuck around and land and snipe, and that's a 40-second reclaim too.
Yeah, I don't think I've done anything with the Pisces.
Oh shit! I wish one of us was pulling a lamb chop and streaming that. That was so much fun. And my sniper rifle was fucked up. I couldn't zero it, so I was sniping people and missing them a lot because I couldn't zero out the scope on it. But the people I did hit, holy shit, they were screaming on comms. Redshirt got a crime stat, so he said, fuck it. He ran in the building, killed everybody inside Jumptown, and then I was picking off people outside. And they were looking for me. They were flying Redeemers, and I think there was a Cutlass Black and an Arrow looking for me, and I was just running from rock to rock and hiding from them. And then Jason came, logged in, brought a C2 down, and did a hot pickup for me, and I ran onto the ramp, and then we got out of there.
There we go. Weird. I don't know what those are. TZPV, SMSLY. I don't know what the fuck those are. No idea what those are.
What kind of trouble are you getting into now, Sim?
Oh, just trying out cities, man. Trying out different areas that I used to never be able to like stay in for longer than a couple seconds because they would just lag me so bad that it would be slideshow city. Like Lorville was one of the worst areas. Lorville and Orison. But now I'm just running 60 FPS everywhere I go.
It's a lovely thing.
Oh, it's great, man. It's a wonderful feeling to have a system more than capable of running this.
Yeah, I might have to do that. I might have to research the motherboard I got on this pig and upgrade the RAM on her.
I decided 128 gigs would be fun.
Yeah, but you video edit and do all that shit. I
Yeah.
video edit, but not in while I'm playing video games.
I'm hungry. Where's my food?
I don't know if you're trying to talk, Raz, or just type in, but we can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
All right.
Went a little far. This will work. This is a busy area.
Yeah, it's got to be the bottleneck on my computer is the RAM. I think I'm only at 16.
Yeah, 32 is going to be. I want to do 64. I think both of mine are 32 right now.
I'm gonna take some of my old
I'll wait
RAM and
till
put it in my old
they
system.
reduce the price on the GPUs until I build something new. I checked with Corsair; they've got a nice Vengeance pre-built, but it's like $6,000 now.
Well, Simple Man just had to sell his kid to the black market just so he could buy his GPU.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. I mean, between the chip shortage and all the people that are mining crypto.
Yeah, I kept asking Simple how his kid liked Christmas, and he's like, I don't have a kid. And I'm like, dude, you had a kid. He's like, no, I don't have a kid anymore. I got a GPU now. He's not listening to me or ignoring me.
I'm mining some Fontanium. It's a small one. Ooh. A little better. Oh, that's a good rock. Wow. I just found a ton of Quantanium.
Nice.
That's a good. The 27%er.
Alright, I'm back.
Damn, you missed my whole speech. I have no idea what kind of trouble I want to get into in game today.
When are they putting the new star map in game? I'm tired of this fucking one. I thought that was supposed to be in 3.16.
Is it 317 or 318? I think now.
I have no idea.
From 316 because they wanted to get a stable patch out before Christmas.
Do like the new Stormbringer on the Cartual, that looks pretty sharp.
Sent you a party invite, Raz, and Lamb, I don't see you in server yet.
After I pop this rock, I'm going to be hopping off for a little bit. I got to eat some food.
Roger that.
Yeah, I'm gonna be getting off in a little bit as well. I gotta go to work.
Roger that.
I'm just going to pop this one, collect it, go turn it in, and then eat some foods.
Ha! I just made Hurston security crash into the station.
Nice. Was he trying to scan you, or were you?
Yeah, he's trying to
fighting him?
scam me, but he's just been sitting there, and he follows my cursor, so I just like had him slam into the wall of the station. Something
Nice.
exploded. I just don't know what. Oh, he just blew up. Oh, that's fucking
Get a crime
hilarious.
set?
No, because I didn't touch him. He was just following my cursor. What the fuck? That's the first time I've seen that happen.
Come on, fucking thing.
I dumped the Atlas for most of my quantum drives now. My smaller ships, I go with the Voyage. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, I think that's what most of the videos recommended.
Man, it's nice to be able to fly around and not have 1-2 FPS sometimes. It's a whole new game.
The new it.
So new world.
Did you ever find any booze, Raz, or did you have to
Nope.
order it on Amazon and pay for same-day delivery?
Seems like we're a dry town today. It's just like being in the Middle East. I didn't think Benny's ever closed, and even the mom and pop liquor stores are closed.
Oh, that's rough. That never happens here in South Florida. There's always liquor at any time.
Not that I needed any more information, but just another reason not to be in Illinois at all, ever.
That is true. Well, Karen's company got bought out. I don't remember if I told you that, so
No.
I don't know how much longer we'll be here either. They say her job's stable, but that's what they tell people right before they fire them.
Generally, yes. You can re-interview for your job at 40% less money.
So we'll see.
Yeah, hopefully I'll be either in Springfield, Missouri, or Charlotte. That's the only two places in this country I think I can see myself living. Both are reasonably close to hurricane, so. But the program for this year is to reincorporate outside of Illinois.
That seems smart.
Hello, my darling. I'm almost done. I'm gonna collect this and then I'm gonna come out and eat. I love you. I just couldn't jump straight immediately. Sorry.
Did you ever go dual joystick at Raz, or are you still pushing
I still have
Warthog?
the Warthog. I really like it. It just the configuring thing hasn't always been the best. Ever since what 3.14 in July or August of this summer, it's been a real pain in the ass.
Yeah, I just got them two VKBs a month or two ago, and they're working awesomely. But that guy Ace that was with us, or I don't think he logged on when he was still with us, but he's got the Virples and he got the 45 grips for him. So now they run on a 45-degree angle. He said he's loving it so far.
Please continue to prioritize safety and caution while traveling.
If
I
I
run
buy
the
anything, I'd get
Virples.
Virpil.
Yeah, I run a Virpil Alpha on my left and a Delta on my right.
I don't know that I'm ready to give up the throttle, even though this game seems to be everybody's using dual sticks. But
Well, dude, you could set up both. You could fly it however you want. I think Noob has it set up. He's in. He actually is in this guild. If you got any questions, ask him. He'll definitely answer them for you because he tests all their shit.
yeah, I mean, this is fine for now. This game's not going to be out for 5 or 6 years, so I'm in no hurry. I'm finally getting some money's worth out of the $600 controllers I bought 10 years ago. And I mean, if the flight model stays the way that it is, I'm probably just going to be flying large ships and capitals. The dogfighting is so much less enjoyable now that they did the rebalancing.
I don't mind it. I'm just not good at it. I just figure I'm going to be somebody that has to be with a crew or running whenever I get attacked.
You still looking for a new org, Raz, or
I don't know what I'm gonna. No, dude, I'm not staying with mine. The core group of guys that they've been, I think I was with them for like 2 years. The 10 guys that were the most active are great, but all these new guys that are joining the org, and they've done nothing wrong, they're just annoying as fuck. They think this is like their American Idol audition tape or something. We had guys singing in channel while we're trying to conduct an op, and nobody wants to address that. So I'm like, all right, this is how it's going to be. No, thank you. I don't mind losing a fight because we're just outclassed, but I'm not going to lose a fight because we're fucking disorganized.
What in the fuck is all the 100%? This rock had a lot more in it than this. Come on. There's one more down there. I don't want to start sucking up anything. Damn it.
I don't know if I'm still having desync issues, but like I can't select Port Orlisar at all on the star map.
Yeah, there's something with the quantum thing. You got to jump to Crusader first, and then maybe you can get it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I physically can see it. I've got it zoomed in, but I can't set route to it. Map, like the set route button is does nothing now.
Yeah,
there's
an issue.
Bam.
No, sorry about that. It's just an issue.
Basically, what it is you could actually warp to Crusader or Orison, and then fly up to it. But then you're going to spend 2 hours flying up to it if you warp to Orison. But you cannot warp around the planet. So you either have to find an OM marker that's going to be closer to it to where you can lock onto it, or you're going to have to fly to a different planet and then
Crusader
come back
and
into
then
it.
the moon. That's what I usually do.
I usually cut the quantum drive early on Crusader so that you can fly around it.
Fucking shit.
Right before it's right in your face.
Could have sworn there was a lot more 100% in this. Okay, this really sucks.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. It's the same way with every planet too.
Well, this is the silly little stuff that I wish they would put dev time into instead of designing new ships. I mean, get some of the tedious bullshit fixed in between all of your ship sales.
Yeah.
Ah. Fuck. Fuck it. Kidding me. Where in the fuck is the larger ones?
Did you go have your wings yet, Raz?
No, we're gonna have to do that this week before you leave. I want a proper beer. I want chicken wings and bacon. I did go out and buy some bacon. I haven't had bacon in forever.
I made a smoked salmon chowder for last night and a smoked crab dip for last night. The smoked
Sounds
salmon
good.
chowder has bacon in it, so
Yep,
I may or
sounds
may
good.
not have had 5 or 6 slices before it went in the soup.
Like
For
I'm gonna
chowder.
make a pound of bacon, and that's going to be a meal.
There's a restaurant that I went to that it was called I think pork or something like that. That every single thing you can order on there was based around pork.
That's
It had
amazing.
yeah, it had bacon on everything.
Yep. In Egypt, they'll sell things called bacon, but it's basically just a cured beef product, so it's nothing like bacon.
Oh wait, no, it wasn't called pork. It was called swine.
Even better.
Well, how long are you in town for, Raz?
I haven't decided. I'm either going to start working for a bit or take another vacation. I don't know what I'm gonna do yet.
I would like that option. Shit. Do I want to work or?
Yeah, I can't commit to anything long term. My cousin is getting married in Mexico at the beginning of April, so if I do a project, it's got to wrap up in 2 or 3 months. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I was looking at Taiwan. They're open right now, and supposedly they've got some pretty good diving on the south coast. And might want to visit it before it becomes part of China.
You're lucky. It'll be a part of China before you leave.
Yeah, until Biden loosens up the new bullshit rules, I'm kind of skeptical about going anywhere that I can't get a nonstop direct flight back to the States, because the 3 flights to get back to the U.S. from Egypt was an absolute fucking nightmare. Because when you get your PCR test, you have 24 hours to get back inside the United States. Well, it's kind of hard to do when you have 24 hours of traveling, and it takes them 24 hours to process the test.
It's a wild state of affair.
Yeah, it's ridiculously stupid. And most of the stuff, at least I can speak for Africa, is all falsified anyway. They just give you a test that says you passed. So and I think everybody knows it. But boy, are they making a lot of money.
Hand over fist.
Yeah, if you need to get a rapid PCR test in Europe, it's 700 euro. So these people that are flying in economy, they're paying more for their fucking test than they are for their flight.
Which is why I just drive within the U.S. right now. I don't need to fly nowhere.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy aviation. I always have. Like, flying doesn't bother me at all. But yes, they do make as painfully as possible right now.
Oh yeah, I don't mind flying. In fact, I love flying. It's quite nice. I just hate all the rules and implementation bullshit that they've put in recently. Makes it less than desirable to be on a plane. We drove all the way from Oklahoma to the Keys. That was fun.
That is a long drive. Sadly, I do the
23.
Chicago to Miami thing a couple times a year, and I'm really sick of that. In a utility vehicle, it's about 23 hours with gas stops, and that really sucks.
Yeah, I've got a Chevy 2500 HD, and that's 23 hours with a couple, about 4 stops.
Should look up Simple next time you're in town, Raz. I'll take you to a good Cuban restaurant.
Oh, dude, there's great Cuban food everywhere. I took you to Havana and West Palm Beach when we were down there, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah. Oh, God, that's one of my favorite places. But yes, there's great Cuban everywhere down there. Yeah, I used to live like a mile from where he was working at the casino.
Ah,
Yeah, he's not there anymore. I don't remember the name of the restaurant he's working at now, though.
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
Tech, what are you up to right now?
Landing complete.
Contemplating taking them all out, maybe sucking up some Quantanium. I need about 600,000, and I could afford to get my M50.
I'm gonna get this
Oh, to buy
load
the
dropped
shipping,
off
you
and
mean?
go eat.
Yep. It's a pretty good little dogfighter, and you could almost fit it out identical to the Gladius, but have a lot smaller footprint.
Yeah, I never flew that one. I just actually CCU'd it to something else recently.
Yeah, I watch Avenger 1. He's a hell of a pilot, and I don't
Yeah,
think,
that dude.
even if I practiced at piloting this whole time, could even scratch the surface of what he's capable of doing with ship. Yeah, I actually seen
He's
him
very
take
good.
out. Yeah, he took on like what, 2 ships in a fucking Argo raft and won.
Yeah, did you see the one in Atmosphere where he took on 6 guys in the Arrow?
Yep.
He's a hell of a pilot. I wish I could get my brain to wrap around how to do all that stuff. I always just get nuked.
Wait, who are we talking about?
Avenger 1, he's a YouTuber. He is a hell of a pilot. I mean, really good.
I was actually in a server with him once, and all he did was advertise his location and said, "Come fight me." And
Yeah,
if nobody
that's what he
showed
does.
up, he jumped servers.
Yeah, and then he pays people who beat him.
He'll use everything. Like I watched him do a Cutlass battle the other day, and he'll flip the VTOL on and off and maneuver that way. And I'm like, wow. I wouldn't even have thought to do that in a dogfight, flipping the VTOL
Yeah.
on and off.
Gives you hard thrust in the downward plane, which is what's very helpful. Oh, fuck. Where am I going? Oh, elevators, dumb shit. Durr. Too damn many elevators. You should be able to land at the refinery. You should be able to land at the hangars and halves. You should be able to land at the Galleria. I mean, these stations are huge. Less elevators, more airlocks. Come on. Give it to me. I'm going to sing a song just to annoy you, Rasmus.
That's okay. Try not to do Alice Cooper, though. I've heard his entire show in the last couple weeks.
I tend to do exactly what you're saying. Well, except for when we're on missions and things like that. I don't necessarily get too loud, but I'll be silly and sing. It's fun.
That's fine, but like not when you're actually trying to do an op, like something organized. Like everybody is just, I don't know. That part I just don't understand. When you're trying to get something done, but you want to go sing in another.
Bam. Thing, man.
I'm one of those people. I mean, I've got a fair amount of money invested in this game. I like winning. I don't enjoy dying for stupidity.
I get it. Well, hey, I'm jumping for a little bit. You guys have a good one.
Hi, later, Lamb. Son of a bitch, I think we're 30K.